There's a kind of freedom that few people ever truly experience, a deep, unshakable peace that allows you to walk through life's storms without being swept away. This isn't the kind of peace that comes from avoiding challenges or pretending everything is fine. No, this is the kind of peace that grows when you master your emotions, when you learn to face the chaos around you with clarity, steadiness, and grace. Think of the last time your heart raced with anger or frustration, the last time you felt the heat rise in your chest and words spilled out that you couldn't take back. How often do those moments leave behind regret? For many of us, the answer is too often, but it doesn't have to be this way. You can change this pattern. You can step off the treadmill of emotional reactions and find a better way. The world around us thrives on intensity. Every headline, every post, every argument seems designed to stir up your emotions and demand your reaction. But what if you could choose how to respond, or even whether to respond at all? What if the power to stay calm and steady, no matter the situation, was already within you, waiting to be awakened? For centuries, Buddhist teachings have offered a path to emotional mastery. They reveal that our emotions, no matter how overwhelming they seem, are not as permanent or as powerful as we believe. In fact, they're like passing clouds, temporary, shifting, and entirely dependent on the winds of our thoughts and perceptions. The beauty of this truth is that it places the power back in your hands. You don't have to be a slave to your emotions. You don't have to let anger, fear, or frustration dictate your words or actions. You can learn to see them for what they are and let them pass without being consumed by them. But let's be real, this isn't always easy. In the heat of the moment, when someone disrespects you, when life feels unfair, when your patience is pushed to its limits, staying calm feels like the hardest thing in the world. That's because emotional control isn't something we're taught. We're taught to be kind, to work hard, to succeed. But few of us are ever taught how to manage the storms inside us. Yet, this skill is one of the most valuable things you can ever learn. Mastering your emotions doesn't mean you suppress them or pretend they don't exist. It's not about becoming cold or indifferent. It's about understanding your emotions so deeply that they no longer control you. It's about responding to life with wisdom rather than reacting in haste. This is where the teachings of Buddhism offer profound insight. One of the most powerful lessons you can take from Buddhist wisdom is that your emotions are not your enemy, they're your teachers. Each burst of anger, each pang of sadness, each wave of fear carries a lesson, a chance to grow. Instead of pushing these feelings away or letting them control you, you can meet them with curiosity. What is this feeling trying to tell me? Why am I holding on to it? These questions open a door to self-discovery and, ultimately, to freedom. Detachment is another cornerstone of this wisdom. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring or become distant from life. It means you stop clinging. It means you let go of the need to control everything, the need to always be right, the need to always feel good. When you let go, you discover a deeper strength, one that doesn't depend on the actions of others or the whims of circumstances. This kind of detachment doesn't isolate you, it liberates you. Think about the stress that builds when you're caught up in other people's actions or words. Someone cuts you off in traffic, and your whole day is ruined. A colleague says something rude, and you replay it in your mind over and over, letting it fester. These moments rob you of your peace. But what if you could meet them with calm? What if you could see them as fleeting events that don't deserve your energy? That's the power of detachment. Another essential teaching is the recognition of impermanence. Nothing in life lasts forever. Not your joys, not your sorrows, not even your anger. Emotions feel overwhelming in the moment because we forget they are temporary. When you remind yourself that every emotion will pass, you create space to breathe, to think, to respond wisely. This simple shift in perspective can change everything. Mindfulness is the bridge that connects all these teachings. It's the practice of being fully present, fully aware of what's happening inside you and around you, without judgment. When you're mindful, you can catch the first flicker of irritation before it becomes a blaze. You can notice the tightness in your chest, the clenching of your jaw, and choose to let go before the emotion takes over. Mindfulness is not about controlling your emotions. It's about understanding them so well that they lose their control over you. But what about the moments when mindfulness feels out of reach? When emotions surge so quickly that you're swept away before you even realize it? This is where the power of the pause comes in. Pausing, even for a single breath, can be a game changer. It gives you a moment to step back, to observe instead of react. And in that moment, you reclaim your power. Self-awareness is the foundation of all these practices. Without it, you're like a sailor without a compass, tossed around by every wave of emotion. With self-awareness, you can recognize your triggers, understand your patterns, and navigate your emotions with skill. It's not about avoiding emotions. It's about meeting them with wisdom and grace. Compassion is another transformative tool. When someone lashes out at you, it's easy to react with anger or defensiveness. But what if you paused and asked, what pain might they be carrying? Compassion doesn't mean excusing bad behavior. It means choosing not to add fuel to the fire. It means responding in a way that reflects your values, not their behavior. At the heart of these teachings is the understanding that you are not your emotions. You are the observer of your emotions, the one who watches them rise and fall. This realization is liberating. It reminds you that no matter how intense your feelings become, they do not define you. You are something far greater, far steadier, far more powerful. Learning to manage your emotions is not a one-time achievement. It's a practice, a journey. There will be moments when you stumble, moments when you react instead of responding. And that's okay. Each moment offers a chance to try again, to grow a little more, to become a little freer. This journey isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about reclaiming your peace, one breath, one pause, one choice at a time. It's about living with intention instead of letting life push you around. And most importantly, it's about discovering the deep well of calm and strength that has been within you all along. As you walk this path, remember that the power to change your life doesn't come from controlling others or controlling the world. It comes from mastering yourself. And the journey toward that mastery begins right here, right now. Let's take the first step together. As you step further into this journey, consider how often your peace has been stolen by things that ultimately don't matter. Someone's careless words, a minor inconvenience, or an unfulfilled expectation. These moments, though fleeting, can shape our days, our interactions, and even our sense of self. What if there was a way to remain steady, to hold on to your inner calm no matter what storms arise around you? What if the key wasn't in controlling the world, but in learning how to let go? Detachment, as taught in Buddhism, offers this profound wisdom, a way to free yourself from the grip of emotional triggers and live with a lighter heart. Detachment isn't about withdrawing from life or becoming indifferent to those around you. It's about finding clarity amid the noise and refusing to let external provocations dictate your inner world. When practiced, it becomes a transformative force, one that allows you to engage deeply with life while maintaining your emotional freedom. At its core, detachment teaches you that your reactions are yours to choose, and that choice is your power. To understand detachment, begin by examining the root of emotional triggers. Every frustration, every moment of anger, every pang of disappointment stems from attachment. Attachment to outcomes, to people, or to specific ideas of how things should be. When something challenges these attachments, we feel it as a personal affront. The first step toward freedom is recognizing that these attachments are the source of our suffering. A colleague's criticism, for instance, only stings when we're attached to their approval. A cancelled plan hurts because we're attached to our expectations of how the day should unfold. By loosening these attachments, we loosen the hold that external events have over us. Practicing detachment begins with awareness. Pay attention to how you react when things don't go your way. Notice the tension that rises, the thoughts that spiral. Instead of trying to suppress these reactions, observe them. This observation creates a space, a moment of clarity where you can choose how to respond. In this space lies your freedom. With time, you'll find that situations that once triggered you lose their power. The noise of the world may continue, but it won't disturb your inner stillness. Another profound aspect of detachment is releasing the need for control. So much of our suffering comes from trying to micromanage life, from clinging to the illusion that we can shape every outcome. Detachment invites you to step back and trust in the flow of life. This doesn't mean becoming passive or indifferent. It means understanding that while you can influence your actions, you cannot control every result. Letting go of this need for control lightens the weight you carry. It allows you to act with intention while accepting that the ultimate outcome is beyond your grasp. Detachment also involves separating yourself from the roles and labels that society places upon you, or that you place upon yourself. Too often, we let our identity be defined by our job, our relationships, or our achievements. When something threatens these roles, we feel unmoored. But detachment teaches that you are not your job, your relationship status, or your accomplishments. These are parts of your experience, but they do not define you. By stepping back from these identities, you create space to connect with your true self, the self that remains constant no matter what changes occur in your external world. One of the most challenging yet rewarding aspects of detachment is letting go of the past. The weight of old hurts, regrets, and grievances can tether us to pain long after the moments that caused them have passed. Detachment helps you see that clinging to these memories serves no purpose. It doesn't change the past, nor does it protect you from future harm. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or condoning what happened. It means releasing the emotional charge that keeps you stuck. By doing so, you reclaim your energy and redirect it toward the present. Detachment also transforms your relationships. It allows you to love without clinging, to give without expecting, and to connect without fear of loss. This isn't a cold or distant way of relating. It's a freer and more genuine one. When you let go of the need to control others or make them conform to your expectations, you open the door to deeper understanding and acceptance. This creates space for relationships to flourish, unburdened by the weight of unrealistic demands. At its heart, detachment is an act of trust. Trust in yourself, trust in the flow of life, and trust in the resilience of your spirit. It's about recognizing that you have the strength to navigate whatever comes your way without being consumed by it. This trust grows with practice, and each small step reinforces your ability to remain calm and centered in the face of challenges. Detachment doesn't mean avoiding emotions or denying your humanity. Instead, it means fully experiencing life while understanding that you are not defined by any single moment, feeling, or outcome. It's the art of holding the world lightly, not because it doesn't matter, but because gripping it too tightly only leads to pain. This balance is what makes detachment so liberating. It allows you to engage with life wholeheartedly while maintaining your inner peace. As you continue this journey, reflect on where attachment shows up in your life. Is it in your need for approval, your fear of change, or your clinging to the past? Whatever form it takes, know that detachment is not about erasing these attachments overnight. It's about gradually loosening their hold, one small step at a time. Each moment of letting go is a moment of freedom, and each act of freedom brings you closer to the peace that lies at the core of your being. When practiced consistently, detachment becomes second nature. You'll find yourself responding to challenges with grace, navigating conflicts with calm, and experiencing life with a sense of lightness that once felt impossible. This is the power of detachment, the freedom to live fully, unshaken by the turbulence around you. Letting go through detachment opens the door to a new kind of clarity, but clarity alone is not enough to sustain peace in the face of life's unpredictability. The world doesn't stop challenging you simply because you've embraced detachment. Moments of stress, conflict, and emotional intensity will continue to test your resolve. What enables you to meet these moments without being overwhelmed is mindfulness, the practice of staying fully present, aware, and engaged in the now. Mindfulness is the anchor that steadies you when life threatens to pull you in every direction. It's not just a concept, but a skill that grows with intentional practice. It allows you to see life clearly, free from the fog of distraction or the grip of past regrets and future anxieties. By grounding you in the present, mindfulness gives you the power to manage your reactions with wisdom and balance, even when emotions surge. The first step in mindfulness is noticing where your attention goes. Much of the time, our minds wander, flitting from one thought to the next without focus or intention. This mental restlessness makes us vulnerable to emotional reactivity. When we're not fully present, a fleeting frustration can snowball into anger, and a passing disappointment can spiral into despair. Mindfulness helps you regain control by bringing your awareness back to the present moment. With practice, you can catch yourself before your emotions take over, giving you the space to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. Mindfulness also cultivates a deep understanding of your emotional landscape. Emotions often arise as a mix of sensations, thoughts, and judgments. By paying close attention to these components, you can disentangle what you're feeling and why. For example, in a moment of anger, mindfulness allows you to observe the tightening of your chest, the racing of your thoughts, and the underlying fear or frustration fueling the anger. This observation creates a pause, a chance to choose how you want to respond rather than being swept away. One of the most profound benefits of mindfulness is the way it helps you break the habit of judgment. We often label our emotions as good or bad, desirable or undesirable. These judgments add an extra layer of suffering to what we're already experiencing. For instance, feeling anxious is one thing, but feeling ashamed of your anxiety adds another layer of distress. Mindfulness invites you to observe your emotions without judgment, to simply acknowledge them as they are. This non-judgmental awareness creates space for acceptance, which in turn reduces the intensity of the emotion. Another essential aspect of mindfulness is focusing on the breath. Your breath is always with you, a constant rhythm that anchors you to the present. When emotions run high, turning your attention to your breath can have an immediate, calming effect. By slowing and deepening your breathing, you signal to your body and mind that it's safe to relax. This simple act of attention can help you stay grounded in moments of emotional intensity, preventing escalation and creating room for thoughtful responses. Mindfulness also sharpens your perception, allowing you to see situations for what they truly are, rather than through the lens of your assumptions or fears. Often, our emotional reactions are not to the events themselves, but to the stories we tell ourselves about them. For example, if a friend cancels plans, you might feel hurt not because of the cancellation itself, but because you interpret it as rejection. Mindfulness helps you recognize these stories as thoughts, not facts. This awareness gives you the freedom to challenge and reframe them, reducing their emotional impact. In moments of conflict, mindfulness can be a transformative tool. When disagreements arise, the instinct to defend yourself or prove your point can quickly escalate tensions. Mindfulness encourages you to pause, listen fully, and respond with intention rather than reacting from a place of defensiveness. This shift not only diffuses conflict, but also fosters deeper understanding and connection. Mindfulness isn't about eliminating difficult emotions, but about changing your relationship with them. It teaches you to sit with discomfort without being consumed by it. When you resist an emotion, you often give it more power. But when you allow yourself to fully experience it, its intensity often diminishes. For example, if you feel sadness, mindfulness invites you to explore it with curiosity. Where do you feel it in your body? What thoughts accompany it? This gentle exploration helps you process the emotion rather than suppressing or amplifying it. Consistency is key to developing mindfulness. It's not a quick fix, but a practice that requires patience and commitment. Start small by dedicating a few minutes each day to mindfulness exercises, such as observing your breath, scanning your body for sensations, or focusing on the sights and sounds around you. Over time, these moments of mindfulness will extend into your daily life, helping you stay present and composed, even in challenging situations. Mindfulness also deepens your capacity for gratitude. When you're fully present, you notice the small joys and simple pleasures that often go unnoticed. A kind word from a friend, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, or the taste of your morning coffee can become moments of genuine appreciation. This shift in focus nurtures a sense of contentment and balance, reducing the grip of negative emotions. One of the most empowering aspects of mindfulness is its ability to reveal the impermanence of all things, including your emotions. When you observe your feelings with mindfulness, you begin to see how they ebb and flow like waves. This awareness helps you understand that no emotion, no matter how intense, will last forever. It gives you the strength to endure discomfort, knowing it will pass, and the perspective to cherish joy, knowing it is fleeting. Mindfulness also fosters a sense of self-compassion. When you bring mindful awareness to your inner dialogue, you may notice harsh self-criticism or unrealistic expectations. Mindfulness invites you to treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend. This practice doesn't make you complacent. It makes you stronger by building a foundation of self-acceptance and resilience. In relationships, mindfulness creates space for genuine connection. When you're fully present with others, you listen more deeply, respond more thoughtfully, and engage more authentically. This presence strengthens bonds and reduces misunderstandings, creating a ripple effect of harmony and understanding. Mindfulness extends beyond managing emotions. It transforms how you experience life. By anchoring yourself in the present, you free yourself from the pull of past regrets and future anxieties. You learn to savor each moment, whether it's a mundane task or a profound experience. This shift in perspective brings a sense of fulfillment that is not dependent on external circumstances. As you continue to practice mindfulness, you'll notice subtle but profound changes. You'll find yourself pausing before reacting, responding to challenges with clarity, and approaching life with a sense of calm that once seemed out of reach. Mindfulness doesn't eliminate difficulties. It equips you to face them with grace and resilience. It is the foundation of emotional mastery, a skill that will serve you in every aspect of your life. The journey toward mindfulness is ongoing, and each step you take deepens your understanding and strengthens your practice. Through mindfulness, you discover not only how to manage your emotions, but also how to live fully and authentically in each moment. The present becomes not just a place to anchor yourself, but a source of endless possibility and peace. The clarity that mindfulness brings reveals something profound about our emotional experiences. They are not as solid or permanent as they often feel. Just as mindfulness teaches us to anchor ourselves in the present, it also illuminates the truth that nothing we feel, no matter how intense, lasts forever. The grip of anger loosens, the weight of sadness lifts, and even moments of joy pass into the flow of time. This truth, central to Buddhist wisdom, transforms how we relate to our emotions. When we deeply understand the impermanence of our feelings, we can begin to loosen their hold and approach life with greater calm and resilience. The principle of impermanence teaches that all things, including our emotions, are constantly changing. Joy turns into calm, calm into unease, unease into clarity. No state, pleasant or painful, remains unchanged. This realization doesn't diminish the value of emotions. Instead, it offers freedom from being enslaved by them. When we cling to joy, fearing its loss, or resist anger, trying to force it away, we create unnecessary suffering. By understanding impermanence, we learn to flow with emotions rather than fight them, reducing their ability to control us. One way to recognize impermanence in your emotions is to observe their patterns. Pay attention to how emotions rise and fall within you. Notice how they appear as a response to specific triggers, intensify, and eventually fade. By observing this cycle, you can begin to see emotions as temporary visitors rather than permanent residents. This perspective makes it easier to accept emotions for what they are, a natural part of life that will come and go. Impermanence also encourages us to shift our focus from resisting emotions to allowing them to move through us. Resisting emotions often amplifies their intensity. When you fight sadness or push away fear, you give them more power. Allowing emotions to flow freely, on the other hand, helps them dissolve naturally. This practice doesn't mean surrendering to overwhelming feelings, but rather creating space for them without clinging or resisting. It's an act of trust in the natural rhythm of life. The understanding of impermanence invites us to approach difficult emotions with curiosity instead of fear. When anger arises, instead of immediately reacting or suppressing it, pause and explore its texture. Where do you feel it in your body? What thoughts accompany it? This practice shifts your relationship with anger from one of avoidance or reactivity to one of understanding. Over time, this shift reduces anger's intensity and frequency. Joy and happiness also benefit from the understanding of impermanence. Knowing that joyful moments are fleeting can deepen your appreciation for them. Instead of clinging to happiness or fearing its end, you can fully savor it while it lasts. This approach doesn't diminish joy but enriches it, making it a source of gratitude rather than anxiety. Impermanence provides a powerful tool for managing anxiety and worry. Often, worry arises from a belief that uncomfortable situations or feelings will last forever. When you remind yourself of impermanence, you can see that whatever is causing your anxiety is temporary. This perspective doesn't magically solve problems, but it provides a sense of relief, making challenges feel more manageable. The principle of impermanence also helps us let go of past pain. Clinging to old grievances or regrets keeps us tethered to emotions that no longer serve us. When you acknowledge that even the worst experiences are part of a flow that has already moved on, it becomes easier to release the emotional weight of the past. This release doesn't mean forgetting or dismissing the past, but recognizing that it no longer defines your present. In relationships, impermanence offers a way to navigate both joy and conflict with grace. It reminds us that no argument lasts forever, and that misunderstandings can give way to understanding with time. Similarly, it helps us cherish the precious moments of connection without taking them for granted. By embracing the transient nature of all interactions, we become more present and compassionate in our relationships. Practicing awareness of impermanence can also reduce fear of failure or rejection. These fears often stem from a belief that a single moment of failure or rejection defines your worth. Impermanence teaches that no single event can encapsulate who you are. Failures and rejections are part of a greater ebb and flow, and their impact diminishes as time moves forward. This understanding encourages resilience and the courage to take risks. Impermanence also helps us navigate uncertainty, a source of significant emotional distress for many. When we expect life to follow a predictable path, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Embracing impermanence allows us to let go of rigid expectations and flow with life's changes. This doesn't mean giving up on goals or plans, but rather remaining flexible and open to the unexpected. The beauty of impermanence lies in its ability to foster acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean resignation or indifference. It means acknowledging what is, without judgment, and finding peace within it. This perspective allows us to face life's difficulties with grace and its joys with gratitude. Acceptance, rooted in the understanding of impermanence, becomes a source of strength and balance. Impermanence also teaches us about the interconnectedness of all things. Just as emotions arise and fade in response to circumstances, so too do circumstances evolve in response to our actions. This awareness highlights the importance of how we choose to respond to our emotions and to life. Each response shapes the flow of events, creating ripples that extend far beyond the present moment. Practicing impermanence requires patience and consistency. It's not about forcing yourself to get over emotions, but about gently reminding yourself of their transient nature. Over time, this practice becomes a natural part of how you relate to your inner world. You begin to trust that no storm lasts forever and that peace is always within reach. This understanding also invites a sense of wonder. When you recognize that every moment is unique and fleeting, you begin to appreciate life's richness. Even mundane experiences take on a new depth when viewed through the lens of impermanence. This perspective cultivates a sense of awe for the ever-changing tapestry of life. The realization of impermanence is not a detachment from life's beauty, but a deeper engagement with it. It frees you from clinging to what is pleasant and fearing what is difficult. This freedom creates space for joy, compassion, and wisdom to flourish. It allows you to move through life with an open heart, unburdened by the weight of resistance or attachment. As you deepen your understanding of impermanence, you'll notice a shift in how you experience emotions. They become less overwhelming and more manageable. You'll find yourself responding to challenges with greater calm and approaching joys with greater gratitude. This is the power of impermanence, not to diminish life's experiences, but to enhance them by freeing you from unnecessary suffering. With each step, you come closer to a state of balance and peace, rooted in the wisdom that all things, including your emotions, are part of a natural and ever-changing flow. Understanding the impermanence of emotions brings a profound sense of freedom, but it's only one piece of the puzzle. In the heat of the moment, when emotions surge and reactions threaten to take over, impermanence may feel like a distant concept. This is where the power of the pause becomes transformative. Pausing creates a crucial space, an interval where clarity and intention can replace impulsivity and regret. It is in this space that you reclaim control, breaking free from the cycle of automatic reactions and choosing your response with wisdom and purpose. The ability to pause begins with awareness. Before you can stop yourself from reacting, you must first notice the buildup of emotion. Anger doesn't explode out of nowhere. It starts as a flicker of irritation, a tightening in the chest, or a quickening of the breath. Anxiety often announces itself through restless thoughts or a sense of unease. By tuning into these early signals, you create the opportunity to pause before the emotion escalates. This awareness is the foundation of breaking the reactive cycle. Pausing is not about suppressing what you feel. It's about giving yourself the gift of time, a moment to acknowledge the emotion without letting it dictate your actions. This doesn't mean disengaging from the situation. It means engaging with it more thoughtfully. When you pause, you create a buffer between the trigger and your reaction, allowing your higher self to take the lead. One technique for cultivating the power of the pause is focusing on your breath. The breath is a constant companion, always accessible and grounding. When you feel the urge to react, take a slow, deep inhale, hold it for a moment, and exhale fully. Repeat this process until the urgency of the reaction begins to fade. Each breath serves as an anchor, drawing you back to the present and away from the grip of the emotion. Another method is silently naming the emotion you're feeling. By identifying it, I am angry, I am hurt, or I am frustrated, you create a sense of distance between yourself and the emotion. This act of naming helps you see the emotion as a passing state rather than an integral part of your identity. It reminds you that while the emotion is real, it doesn't have to control you. Pausing also gives you time to ask yourself important questions. What is this emotion trying to tell me? Is my reaction in this moment aligned with my values? Will acting on this impulse serve me in the long term? These questions shift your focus from the immediate trigger to the bigger picture, helping you respond in a way that reflects your true intentions rather than your temporary feelings. A powerful aspect of the pause is its ability to disrupt ingrained patterns. Many reactions are habits formed over years of repetition. For example, snapping at a loved one when you're stressed or shutting down during conflict might feel automatic. But these behaviors are learned and can be unlearned. Each time you pause instead of reacting, you weaken the old habit and create space for a new, healthier response. The pause is especially valuable in conflicts. In the heat of an argument, words spoken without thought can cause deep wounds. Pausing allows you to listen more fully, not just to the other person's words, but to their underlying emotions. This moment of stillness can diffuse tension, prevent misunderstandings, and open the door to genuine communication. It transforms conflict from a battleground into an opportunity for connection and growth. Pausing also prevents you from making decisions you might later regret. Reacting impulsively can lead to actions that escalate the situation or create unnecessary complications. Whether it's sending an angry text, making a rash decision, or saying something hurtful, impulsive reactions often prioritize short-term relief over long-term consequences. The pause gives you the chance to consider those consequences and choose a response that aligns with your goals and values. One of the most significant benefits of the pause is the clarity it provides. In the moment of stillness, you can separate what's real from what's imagined. A colleague's sharp tone might initially feel like an attack, but a pause allows you to consider other possibilities. They might be stressed or distracted. This shift in perspective not only reduces your emotional reactivity, but also fosters empathy and understanding. The practice of pausing also enhances your emotional intelligence. Over time, it helps you develop a deeper awareness of your triggers, patterns, and motivations. You begin to see the connections between your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, which empowers you to respond more intentionally. This self-awareness extends beyond moments of conflict, enriching every aspect of your life. Pausing doesn't always require a long break. Sometimes, just a few seconds of silence can make a profound difference. The key is to make the pause intentional, even if it's brief. In those seconds, you can remind yourself of your priorities, center yourself with a deep breath, or simply allow the initial wave of emotion to subside. Even the smallest pause can shift the trajectory of a situation. In high-stakes moments, pausing might feel impossible. The urgency of the situation can make it seem like there's no time to stop. But this is precisely when the pause is most powerful. Pausing doesn't delay the resolution. It ensures that your response is thoughtful and effective. In fact, a well-considered response often saves time and energy in the long run by preventing the need to repair damage caused by a hasty reaction. The pause is not just a tool for navigating external conflicts. It's equally valuable in managing your internal dialogue. When self-critical thoughts arise, pausing allows you to challenge them instead of accepting them as truth. This interruption of negative self-talk helps you cultivate a kinder and more supportive inner voice. Over time, the practice of pausing becomes a natural part of how you engage with the world. It becomes a habit, not just in moments of emotional intensity, but in everyday interactions. You begin to approach life with a sense of calm curiosity, responding rather than reacting, and finding opportunities for growth in every situation. Pausing also fosters resilience. It helps you build the inner strength to face challenges without being overwhelmed. By creating a space for thoughtful reflection, you develop the capacity to adapt, learn, and move forward with grace. This resilience extends beyond individual moments, shaping how you navigate the complexities of life as a whole. The practice of pausing is both simple and profound. It doesn't require special tools or advanced training, only a commitment to slowing down and creating space for awareness. With each pause, you cultivate a deeper connection to yourself and to the present moment. You reclaim your power to choose how you engage with the world, breaking free from the cycle of reaction and stepping into a life guided by intention and clarity. The power of the pause reveals the immense value of stepping back to respond rather than react. Yet, to truly master this skill, something even deeper is required: self-awareness. Without understanding what drives your emotions, reactions, and patterns, the ability to pause and respond thoughtfully remains incomplete. Self-awareness is the foundation upon which emotional control is built. It is the lens through which you understand yourself, and through that understanding, you gain the ability to act with intention rather than impulse. Self-awareness begins with recognizing the inner landscape of your thoughts, feelings, and physical sensations. Each emotion carries signals: tight shoulders in frustration, a racing heart in anxiety, or a sense of lightness in joy. Many of these signals go unnoticed because we move through life on autopilot. By tuning into these subtle cues, you uncover the first layer of self-awareness, understanding how your emotions manifest in your body. This knowledge gives you an early warning system, allowing you to address emotions before they escalate. Identifying your emotional triggers is another vital step in cultivating self-awareness. Triggers are the situations, people, or experiences that ignite strong emotional reactions. A sharp comment from a friend, a missed opportunity, or an unexpected inconvenience might stir anger, disappointment, or sadness. Triggers are unique to each person and often rooted in past experiences. Self-awareness helps you recognize these patterns, enabling you to predict and prepare for situations that might challenge your emotional balance. For instance, knowing that criticism tends to make you defensive allows you to approach feedback with more openness and less reactivity. Self-awareness also involves examining the beliefs and assumptions that fuel your reactions. Many emotional triggers are amplified by deeply held thoughts, such as, "I must always succeed," or "people should treat me fairly." These beliefs create expectations that, when unmet, lead to frustration, anger, or disappointment. By questioning and reframing these assumptions, you reduce their grip on your emotions. For example, replacing "people should treat me fairly" with "I cannot control how others behave, but I can choose how to respond" shifts your focus from external circumstances to your internal power. Your inner dialogue plays a significant role in shaping your emotional responses. Self-awareness brings attention to the voice in your head, whether it's self-critical, supportive, or somewhere in between. Many of us carry harsh, judgmental inner narratives that heighten emotional turmoil. Recognizing these patterns allows you to challenge and transform them. Replacing self-critical thoughts with affirming ones fosters a sense of self-compassion, reducing emotional reactivity and building resilience. Understanding how your past influences your present is another layer of self-awareness. Unresolved emotions, unhealed wounds, and old narratives often surface in unexpected ways, shaping how you react to current situations. A seemingly minor disagreement might trigger feelings of abandonment rooted in earlier experiences. By acknowledging these connections, you can separate the present moment from the weight of the past, allowing you to respond with clarity rather than carrying old baggage into new interactions. Self-awareness also illuminates the impact of your environment on your emotions. The places you spend time in, the people you surround yourself with, and the routines you follow all influence your emotional state. Crowded, chaotic spaces might heighten anxiety, while supportive, calm surroundings nurture peace. Recognizing these influences empowers you to create environments that support emotional balance. It also helps you make intentional choices about the relationships and activities you invest in, ensuring they align with your well-being. Developing self-awareness requires honesty and curiosity. It means facing uncomfortable truths about yourself without judgment. For instance, acknowledging that jealousy or resentment arises in certain situations is not about labeling yourself as bad, but about understanding the root causes of those emotions. What unmet needs or fears lie beneath them? By exploring these questions, you can address the underlying issues rather than simply reacting to the surface emotion. Practicing mindfulness enhances self-awareness by anchoring your attention in the present moment. Mindfulness encourages you to observe your thoughts, feelings, and sensations without being swept away by them. This observational stance creates a sense of distance, allowing you to see your inner world more clearly. Over time, mindfulness helps you identify patterns and triggers that might otherwise remain hidden, giving you greater control over how you respond to life's challenges. Journaling is another powerful tool for cultivating self-awareness. Writing about your emotions, reactions, and experiences helps you process them and identify recurring themes. For example, you might notice that stress from work often spills into your interactions at home, creating tension in your relationships. By recognizing this pattern, you can take proactive steps to manage work-related stress before it affects those around you. Journaling also provides a safe space for self-reflection, helping you explore thoughts and feelings that might be difficult to express elsewhere. Self-awareness also involves recognizing the role of your values in shaping your emotional responses. When your actions align with your core values, you feel a sense of harmony and fulfillment. Conversely, when you act against your values, it creates inner conflict that manifests as guilt, frustration, or unease. By identifying and prioritizing your values, you create a guide for navigating difficult emotions and making choices that reflect your authentic self. Understanding your energy patterns is another aspect of self-awareness. Notice when you feel most alert, focused, or calm throughout the day, as well as when you're prone to irritability or fatigue. Emotional reactivity often spikes during low energy periods when your physical and mental resources are depleted. By recognizing these patterns, you can schedule challenging conversations or tasks for times when you're at your best and allow yourself rest when needed. Self-awareness also extends to recognizing the impact of your reactions on others. Your words and actions ripple outward, influencing the emotional tone of your relationships and environments. A moment of anger might create tension that lingers, while a moment of patience can foster understanding and connection. By reflecting on how your responses affect those around you, you gain insight into how to create more harmonious interactions. As self-awareness deepens, it fosters a sense of humility. You begin to see that no one is immune to emotional challenges and that everyone carries their own struggles. This understanding cultivates empathy, allowing you to approach others with kindness and patience. It also helps you forgive yourself when you fall short, recognizing that growth is a continuous journey. Self-awareness is not a destination, but an ongoing practice. Each moment of reflection, each insight gained, builds a stronger foundation for emotional control. The more you understand yourself, the more equipped you are to navigate life's complexities with wisdom and grace. With self-awareness, you don't just react to the world. You engage with it intentionally, shaping your experiences and relationships in ways that reflect your truest self. This is the power of knowing yourself deeply, a power that transforms not only how you feel, but how you live. Understanding yourself deeply reveals a profound truth. Emotions like anger and frustration often stem from unacknowledged pain, unmet needs, or unspoken fears, while self-awareness gives you the ability to recognize and pause before reacting. Compassion takes you one step further. It allows you to soften the sharp edges of anger and transform it into understanding, first for yourself and then for others. Compassion isn't just an act of kindness. It's a profound tool for emotional resilience and healing. Compassion begins with acknowledging your humanity. Anger often arises when you feel hurt, threatened, or powerless. It's a natural response, yet many people judge themselves harshly for feeling it. Compassion for yourself means giving space to those emotions without self-criticism. It means saying, it's okay to feel this way, while still holding yourself accountable for how you choose to respond. This balance of understanding and responsibility lays the foundation for healthier emotional patterns. Self-compassion involves seeing your imperfections as part of being human, rather than as personal failures. When anger or frustration arises, it's often accompanied by feelings of guilt or shame, especially if those emotions seem disproportionate to the situation. Instead of pushing those feelings away or allowing them to fester, self-compassion invites you to explore them with curiosity. What triggered this reaction? What unmet need lies beneath it? By addressing the root cause of your emotions, you not only diffuse their intensity, but also cultivate greater self-awareness and emotional resilience. Compassion also challenges the narrative of blame. Anger often finds a target, someone to hold responsible for your discomfort. Yet, this blame can keep you stuck in a cycle of negativity, focusing on what others have done rather than on what you can do to move forward. Self-compassion shifts the focus inward, helping you take ownership of your feelings without adding the weight of judgment. This doesn't mean excusing harmful behavior, but recognizing that your reaction is within your control. Once you've extended compassion to yourself, it becomes easier to extend it to others. Compassion for others begins with recognizing that their actions, like yours, often stem from pain, insecurity, or misunderstanding. When someone lashes out, it's rarely about you. It's about something unresolved within them. This perspective doesn't excuse hurtful behavior, but it allows you to respond with understanding rather than retaliation. It's an act of emotional strength to choose empathy over anger, and that choice can transform conflict into connection. Empathy is a cornerstone of compassion. While anger creates division, empathy builds bridges. To empathize with someone, you must step into their experience, even if it feels uncomfortable. What pressures might they be facing? What fears or frustrations could be driving their behavior? This practice shifts the focus from judgment to understanding, creating space for dialogue and resolution instead of escalating tension. Compassion also helps dissolve the illusion of separation. Anger often arises from the belief that you and the other person are on opposing sides. Compassion reminds you that, at the core, everyone shares the same desire for happiness and freedom from suffering. Recognizing this common humanity fosters patience and kindness, even in challenging situations. It's not about condoning harmful actions, but about refusing to let those actions harden your heart. Practicing compassion requires humility. It means accepting that you don't have all the answers and that you too have caused pain, intentionally or not. This acknowledgement softens the grip of anger and opens the door to forgiveness, both for yourself and others. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or accepting wrongdoing. It means freeing yourself from the burden of resentment so you can move forward with clarity and peace. Compassion transforms relationships by shifting the focus from conflict to connection. When you approach others with empathy and understanding, it changes the dynamics of your interactions. A harsh word met with anger fuels further tension, but a harsh word met with compassion often disarms the situation. This doesn't mean tolerating disrespect, but responding in a way that reflects your values rather than reacting to the other person's behavior. One powerful way to cultivate compassion is through reflective practices like loving kindness meditation. In this practice, you silently send well wishes to yourself and others, starting with those you love, then extending to neutral acquaintances, and finally to those who challenge you. Phrases like, "May you be happy," "May you be healthy," "May you be at peace," encourage a sense of goodwill that gradually dissolves anger and fosters emotional balance. Compassion also involves setting healthy boundaries. It's not about letting others walk over you or ignoring harmful behavior. True compassion includes protecting your own well-being while addressing conflict with kindness. By establishing clear boundaries, you show respect for yourself and the other person, creating a foundation for healthier interactions. Compassionate boundaries are firm but not punitive. They're rooted in a desire for mutual understanding and growth. Compassion strengthens your ability to handle criticism. When someone critiques you, it's easy to respond with defensiveness or anger, but compassion allows you to listen without taking it personally. It helps you separate the content of the critique from the emotional charge, enabling you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. This skill not only reduces conflict, but also helps you grow by learning from constructive feedback. In moments of frustration, compassion helps you shift from what's wrong with them to what might they be going through. This simple reframing diffuses anger and opens the door to solutions. It encourages you to focus on the person's intentions rather than their actions, recognizing that everyone is navigating their own challenges, often unseen by others. Compassion also nurtures gratitude. When you approach life with an open heart, you begin to notice the small acts of kindness and humanity around you. A stranger's smile, a friend's support, or a colleague's effort become sources of appreciation. Gratitude doesn't eliminate challenges, but it shifts your focus toward what's good, balancing the weight of difficult emotions like anger or frustration. Cultivating compassion requires practice and patience. It's not always easy, especially when faced with hostility or injustice. But each act of compassion, no matter how small, strengthens your ability to meet challenges with grace. Over time, it becomes a natural part of how you navigate the world, transforming not only how you feel, but also how you relate to others. Compassion is a choice you make every day. It's a commitment to approach yourself and others with understanding, even when it's difficult. It's a refusal to let anger harden your heart or dictate your actions. Through compassion, you find strength not in resistance, but in connection. You discover that transforming anger into understanding doesn't just change how you feel. It changes how you live, creating a life rooted in empathy, resilience, and peace. Transforming anger into understanding lays the foundation for a deeper realization. The mind is the root of all that we experience. Compassion illuminates how our reactions are shaped by the stories we tell ourselves. But to fully master emotional control, we must go even further. The Buddha's timeless wisdom, encapsulated in the phrase, "What you think, you become," reveals the profound power of our thoughts. Our mental habits shape not only how we feel, but also how we perceive the world, and ultimately, the reality we live in. Understanding and mastering the mind is the key to gaining control over emotions and creating a life of balance and clarity. Thoughts are the seeds of our emotions and actions. Every reaction, whether of joy or frustration, begins with a thought. When left unchecked, the mind can spiral into negativity, creating unnecessary suffering. A single thought of doubt can snowball into fear. A fleeting judgment can harden into anger, and an unmet expectation can grow into despair. But when you learn to observe and guide your thoughts, you regain the ability to shape your emotional landscape rather than being shaped by it. The first step in mastering your thoughts is awareness. Without realizing it, many people operate on autopilot, allowing thoughts to run unchecked. The mind has a tendency to wander, revisiting past regrets or worrying about future uncertainties. This mental chatter not only drains energy, but also clouds emotional clarity. By practicing mindfulness, you can begin to notice your thoughts as they arise. This awareness creates a gap between thought and reaction, allowing you to choose how to respond rather than being swept away. The quality of your thoughts determines the quality of your emotions. Negative thoughts breed negative emotions, while constructive thoughts create a foundation for calm and resilience. For instance, when faced with a challenge, thinking, "I can't handle this," fuels anxiety, whereas thinking, "This is difficult, but I can manage it step by step," fosters confidence. Reframing negative thoughts into empowering ones is a skill that grows with practice. It's not about ignoring difficulties, but about choosing a perspective that supports growth rather than defeat. Thought patterns are deeply ingrained habits of the mind, often formed by past experiences and repeated over time. A person who has faced repeated criticism may develop a habit of self-doubt, interpreting even neutral comments as judgment. By identifying and challenging these patterns, you can rewrite the mental scripts that no longer serve you. This process requires patience and persistence, as deeply rooted thought habits don't change overnight. However, every small step toward positive thinking reinforces a healthier mental framework. The Buddha's teaching emphasizes that our thoughts are not fixed. They are fluid and within our control. While you may not be able to prevent negative thoughts from arising, you can decide whether to feed them or let them pass. Feeding a thought gives it power, while observing it without attachment allows it to fade. This practice, often referred to as non-attachment, helps you disengage from unhelpful mental spirals, creating space for clarity and peace. The mind is like a garden, and your thoughts are the seeds. When you plant seeds of kindness, patience, and gratitude, you cultivate a thriving inner world. Conversely, allowing seeds of resentment, fear, or judgment to take root leads to a tangled, overgrown mental space. Regularly tending to your thoughts, weeding out negativity, and nurturing positivity create an environment where emotional resilience can flourish. This metaphor reminds us that the mind requires consistent care and attention to grow in the direction we desire. Another key teaching is the understanding that thoughts shape perception. Two people can experience the same situation and interpret it entirely differently based on their mental framework. A delayed flight might frustrate one person who sees it as an inconvenience, but provide relief to another who sees it as an opportunity to rest. By shifting your thoughts, you can shift your perception, turning potential triggers into opportunities for growth or gratitude. The connection between thoughts and emotions extends to the physical body. Negative thoughts often manifest as physical tension, tight shoulders, a clenched jaw, or shallow breathing. Positive and calming thoughts, on the other hand, promote relaxation and ease. By becoming aware of this mind-body connection, you can use your thoughts to influence not only your emotions, but also your physical well-being. For example, practicing affirmations like "I am safe" or "I am capable" can help calm an anxious body and mind. Mastering your thoughts also involves cultivating focus. The mind tends to drift, especially when faced with difficult emotions or tasks. This mental wandering often amplifies stress and reduces productivity. Practices like meditation, which train the mind to focus on a single point of attention, help counter this tendency. Over time, this focused awareness strengthens your ability to stay present, reducing the influence of distractions and emotional triggers. Another profound aspect of the Buddha's teaching is the recognition that thoughts are impermanent. Just as emotions rise and fall, thoughts come and go. A thought that feels overwhelming in one moment may seem trivial the next. This impermanence reminds us that we don't have to act on every thought or give every mental whisper our attention. Learning to watch thoughts without clinging to them cultivates a sense of detachment, freeing you from unnecessary mental noise. Self-compassion plays a vital role in mastering your thoughts. The inner critic, often fueled by negative thought patterns, can be a relentless source of emotional turmoil. By replacing self-criticism with compassionate self-talk, you create a supportive inner environment that fosters growth and resilience. For instance, instead of thinking, "I always mess up," you might think, "I made a mistake, but I can learn from this." This shift not only reduces emotional distress, but also builds a stronger sense of self-worth. Thought mastery also involves setting intentional mental boundaries. Not every thought deserves your energy or attention, and not every piece of external input needs to take root in your mind. Being selective about the thoughts you entertain and the information you consume is an act of self-care. For example, limiting exposure to negative news or avoiding draining conversations can help preserve your mental clarity and emotional balance. The Buddha's teaching encourages us to reflect on the long-term impact of our thoughts. Each thought contributes to a ripple effect, influencing your emotions, actions, and interactions with others. By choosing thoughts that align with your values and goals, you not only shape your personal experience, but also contribute to a more harmonious environment for those around you. This awareness fosters a sense of responsibility for the mental energy you bring into the world. Cultivating gratitude is a powerful way to redirect your thoughts toward positivity. Gratitude shifts the focus from what's lacking to what's abundant, creating a sense of contentment and appreciation. Even in challenging times, finding small things to be grateful for, such as supportive relationships, personal growth, or simple pleasures, helps reframe your perspective and nurture emotional resilience. Mastering your thoughts doesn't mean suppressing or denying difficult emotions. Instead, it involves embracing a balanced perspective, where you acknowledge challenges without letting them overshadow the good. This balance creates a foundation for emotional stability, allowing you to navigate life's ups and downs with greater ease. The journey to mastering your thoughts is ongoing. It requires practice, patience, and a willingness to learn from setbacks. Each moment of awareness, each choice to reframe a negative thought, strengthens your ability to guide your mind toward peace and clarity. With time, this practice transforms not only how you think, but also how you feel, act, and connect with the world around you. The Buddha's wisdom reminds us that the mind is both a source of suffering and a path to liberation. By understanding and guiding your thoughts, you unlock the power to shape your emotional responses and ultimately your life. This practice is not about perfection, but progress, an evolving journey toward greater self-awareness, resilience, and peace. Shaping your thoughts with clarity and intention brings remarkable stability to your emotions, but even the most carefully cultivated mind encounters turbulence. Negative emotions like anger, resentment, or sadness can linger and weigh heavily on your heart, no matter how much you work to manage your thoughts. Loving kindness meditation offers a profound way to address this emotional burden. It doesn't just soothe the mind, it heals the heart, fostering a deep sense of connection, peace, and emotional release. This practice gently transforms inner turmoil into warmth and compassion, allowing you to let go of negativity and experience profound calm. Loving kindness meditation, often called metta, is a practice of intentionally generating feelings of goodwill and care, first for yourself and then for others. It begins with recognizing that you deserve the same love and understanding you often extend to those around you. When negative emotions take root, they can erode your sense of self-worth and amplify feelings of isolation or conflict. Loving kindness meditation counters this by nurturing an inner dialogue of care and acceptance, creating a foundation of emotional resilience. This practice starts with self-compassion. Many people find it easier to extend kindness to others than to themselves, but loving kindness meditation invites you to reverse this imbalance. By repeating phrases like, "May I be happy, may I be healthy, may I be at peace," you create a powerful affirmation of self-worth. These words are not merely aspirational, they act as a balm, softening the inner critic and easing emotional pain. The act of wishing yourself well reminds you that your struggles, imperfections, and setbacks do not diminish your inherent value. As you deepen this self-directed compassion, loving kindness meditation expands outward, inviting you to extend these same wishes to others. You begin with someone you care deeply about, perhaps a friend, family member, or mentor. Reflecting on their well-being, you repeat the phrases, "May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be at peace." This simple yet profound act strengthens bonds of connection and reminds you of the shared humanity that unites all people. One of the most transformative aspects of loving kindness meditation is extending goodwill to those with whom you have difficulties. Negative emotions often arise from unresolved conflicts or perceived slights, leaving emotional wounds that can fester. By offering thoughts of kindness to someone who has hurt or angered you, you begin to release the grip of resentment. This doesn't mean condoning harmful behavior. It means freeing yourself from the emotional chains that keep you tied to past pain. Wishing well for those who challenge you fosters forgiveness, not necessarily for their sake, but for your own peace. Loving kindness meditation also includes neutral parties, those you neither feel strongly about nor know well. Extending goodwill to people you pass on the street, co-workers you rarely speak to, or even strangers creates a sense of universal connection. It reminds you that kindness and compassion are not limited to those closest to you. They are boundless resources to be shared freely. This practice broadens your perspective, replacing judgment or indifference with warmth and inclusivity. The transformative power of loving kindness meditation lies in its ability to shift your emotional focus. Negative emotions often center on what's wrong, what's missing, broken, or hurtful. Loving kindness redirects your attention toward what's healing and affirming. This shift doesn't deny challenges or pain, but integrates them into a broader framework of care and acceptance. By focusing on well wishes and compassion, you naturally diminish the intensity of negative emotions. On a physiological level, loving kindness meditation has been shown to reduce stress and improve overall well-being. When you generate feelings of kindness and care, your body responds by releasing chemicals like oxytocin, which promotes relaxation and strengthens feelings of connection. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to be more attuned to positive emotions, making it easier to access calm and compassion even in difficult situations. Loving kindness meditation also fosters a sense of emotional balance. It helps you navigate the highs and lows of life without becoming overwhelmed by either. By anchoring yourself in a mindset of care and goodwill, you develop a steadiness that carries through moments of joy and sorrow alike. This balance doesn't mean you stop feeling deeply. It means you respond to your emotions with grace rather than being swept away by them. The practice of loving kindness meditation also encourages patience and perseverance. Emotional healing is not a one-time event, but a process that unfolds gradually. There may be moments when extending kindness feels difficult, particularly when addressing deep wounds or long-held resentments. In these moments, the act of trying, even if the feelings don't come naturally, is itself a step toward healing. Each repetition of the phrases, each moment of focus on compassion, strengthens your ability to embrace this mindset. Integrating loving-kindness meditation into your daily life amplifies its effects. It can be practiced during quiet moments of reflection, but it also extends into your interactions with others. A smile, a kind word, or a gesture of care can be an expression of the goodwill cultivated during meditation. These small acts ripple outward, creating a positive impact not only for others, but also for your own emotional state. Loving kindness meditation also reshapes your relationship with yourself. It counters the inner narrative that often focuses on flaws or failures, replacing it with one of acceptance and care. This shift in perspective doesn't just ease emotional turmoil, it builds a foundation of self-confidence and inner strength. By repeatedly affirming your own worth, you become better equipped to face challenges with resilience and self-assurance. The expansiveness of loving-kindness meditation teaches you that compassion is not a finite resource. The more you extend care to yourself and others, the more it grows. This abundance mindset counters the scarcity mentality that often fuels competition, envy, or fear. When you recognize that kindness and goodwill are unlimited, you become freer to share them without hesitation or reservation. The effects of loving-kindness meditation are cumulative, building over time with consistent practice. It may start as a small shift, a moment of calm during a stressful day, or a softening of anger towards someone who wronged you. But as these moments accumulate, they create lasting changes in how you experience and respond to life. The practice becomes a refuge, a place you can return to whenever emotional turbulence arises. Loving-kindness meditation doesn't promise to erase pain or prevent difficulties, but it offers a way to meet them with compassion and courage. It transforms how you relate to yourself, to others, and to the world. Each act of goodwill, each moment of care, strengthens your ability to navigate life with grace and ease. Through this practice, you discover not only the power to heal emotional turmoil, but also the capacity to create a life rooted in kindness, connection, and peace. The warmth of loving-kindness meditation reveals how compassion can heal and deepen your connections. But there is another dimension of relationships that requires equal attention: the balance between being fully present and holding on to your emotional center. Detachment, when misunderstood, can appear as indifference, creating distance and disconnection. However, true detachment is not about turning away. It's about engaging with life and relationships in a way that protects your peace without closing your heart. This delicate balance allows you to remain calm, compassionate, and connected, even in emotionally charged situations. Detachment begins with understanding that you are not responsible for the emotions, actions, or decisions of others. In relationships, it is easy to blur the lines between your well-being and that of someone else, especially with loved ones. You may feel compelled to fix their problems, absorb their pain, or adjust your life to accommodate their struggles. This over-identification creates a cycle of dependency that drains your energy and often leads to resentment. Detachment allows you to care deeply while recognizing that every person must walk their own path. True detachment requires clarity about where your boundaries lie. Boundaries are not walls that keep others out, but guidelines that define how you engage with them. Setting boundaries rooted in respect for yourself and others ensures that your connections remain healthy and supportive. Without boundaries, emotions and responsibilities can blur, leading to entanglements that foster misunderstanding and conflict. By knowing where you end and another person begins, you create space for mutual respect and authentic connection. Detachment also requires letting go of the need to control outcomes. In relationships, there is often a desire to influence how others think, feel, or act, whether to protect them or to ensure harmony. This desire, while well-intentioned, creates tension and often backfires. Detachment frees you from this burden, allowing you to trust others to make their own choices. This trust is not an act of indifference, but a profound recognition of their autonomy and strength. One of the most transformative aspects of detachment is its ability to reduce emotional reactivity. When you are overly attached to a specific outcome or to someone else's approval, every disagreement or setback can feel personal. Detachment shifts your focus from seeking validation to maintaining your inner balance. This shift doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care without letting external circumstances dictate your peace. Engaging without overreacting requires emotional presence. Detachment is not about shutting down or avoiding emotions, but about engaging with them mindfully. When you feel anger, frustration, or sadness in a relationship, detachment allows you to observe these feelings without being consumed by them. This observation creates space to respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. It also helps you identify whether these emotions are truly about the present moment or if they are rooted in past experiences or unmet expectations. Detachment also involves releasing the habit of taking things personally. Many emotional reactions stem from interpreting someone else's behavior as a reflection of your worth. A curt response or a forgotten gesture might trigger feelings of rejection or inadequacy, but detachment reminds you that these actions often have more to do with the other person's state of mind than with you. This perspective fosters understanding and reduces unnecessary emotional strain. Engaging without overreacting also requires active listening. Often in conversations or conflicts, the mind races to defend, counter, or judge before fully understanding what is being said. Detachment helps quiet this mental chatter, allowing you to listen with an open mind and heart. This practice not only deepens connection, but also prevents misinterpretations that can escalate tensions. By fully hearing the other person, you create a foundation for empathy and mutual respect. Detachment fosters a sense of curiosity in relationships. Instead of clinging to expectations or assumptions, you approach interactions with an openness to discovery. This mindset allows you to see others as they are, not as you wish them to be. It also encourages flexibility, helping you adapt to changes or challenges without losing your emotional footing. This adaptability strengthens relationships as it demonstrates a willingness to grow and evolve together. Another key element of detachment is the practice of non-attachment to outcomes. In relationships, there is often a desire for specific results, a certain level of closeness, agreement, or harmony. While these desires are natural, clinging to them can lead to disappointment and frustration when reality doesn't align with expectations. Non-attachment allows you to invest fully in the process of connection without being fixated on the result. This frees you to enjoy the journey of the relationship, even if it takes unexpected turns. Detachment is also about cultivating self-reliance within relationships. While connections with others bring joy and support, relying solely on external validation for your sense of worth creates vulnerability. Detachment encourages you to build a strong inner foundation so that your well-being is not dependent on others. This self-reliance doesn't mean isolation. It means bringing your whole, authentic self into relationships without losing your individuality. The practice of detachment also extends to how you handle conflict. When emotions run high, it's easy to become defensive, assign blame, or escalate the situation. Detachment helps you step back and assess the bigger picture. What is the real issue? What is driving the other person's behavior? What is the best way to resolve the conflict without compromising your values? By approaching conflict with this clarity, you can engage constructively rather than reactively. Detachment doesn't eliminate empathy, it deepens it. By creating emotional space, you gain the ability to see situations more objectively and respond with greater compassion. This perspective helps you meet others where they are, rather than where you think they should be. It also allows you to offer support without overstepping, respecting both your boundaries and theirs. Balancing detachment with connection also involves embracing vulnerability. Detachment is not about guarding yourself against pain or disappointment. It's about engaging fully while accepting that not every interaction will go as planned. This openness to both joy and pain enriches relationships as it fosters authenticity and trust. Detachment invites you to celebrate others' successes without envy or comparison. It shifts your focus from competition to connection, reminding you that someone else's achievements do not diminish your own. This mindset strengthens bonds by replacing rivalry with mutual encouragement and support. Detachment also helps you navigate endings with grace. Whether it's the end of a conversation, a phase of life, or a relationship, detachment allows you to let go without clinging or resentment. It reminds you that every interaction, no matter how brief, contributes to your growth and understanding. This perspective helps you honor the past while remaining open to the future. Detachment without indifference transforms how you engage with yourself and others. It allows you to connect deeply without losing your sense of self, to care without controlling, and to love without clinging. This balance creates relationships that are not only more harmonious, but also more fulfilling, as they are rooted in respect, authenticity, and mutual growth. By practicing detachment, you don't withdraw from life. You step into it with greater freedom and intention, creating connections that nurture both your heart and your peace. Detachment teaches you to navigate relationships with clarity and presence. But the path of personal growth doesn't end with connection. Life will continue to challenge you, and those challenges often come disguised as emotional triggers, moments that ignite frustration, anger, fear, or doubt. These triggers may seem like obstacles, but they hold a deeper potential. When reframed, they become opportunities to strengthen patience, resilience, and emotional mastery. The way you interpret these challenges shapes not only your immediate response, but also your long-term growth. Reframing challenges starts with shifting perspective. Emotional triggers often feel overwhelming because they are interpreted through a narrow lens, one focused on discomfort or loss. By widening that lens, you can see these moments as part of a larger picture, one in which the challenge serves a purpose. For example, a heated disagreement can feel like a rupture in a relationship, but it can also be an opportunity to deepen understanding and strengthen communication. This shift doesn't erase the difficulty, but redefines it as meaningful. One of the most powerful ways to reframe challenges is to focus on what they teach you. Each trigger reveals something about your emotional landscape. Perhaps a fear you haven't addressed, a boundary that needs to be set, or a value that feels compromised. When a colleague's dismissive comment triggers anger, it might highlight a deeper need for respect or a fear of being undervalued. Viewing the trigger as a teacher allows you to approach it with curiosity rather than resistance. Patience is often cultivated through discomfort, and emotional triggers are no exception. When frustration or anger arises, it's tempting to react immediately to relieve the tension. However, by sitting with the discomfort and examining its source, you develop patience. This practice strengthens your ability to tolerate uncertainty and remain calm under pressure. Over time, patience becomes a powerful tool for navigating not only emotional triggers, but also life's larger challenges. Reframing challenges also involves recognizing the impermanence of emotions. Triggers often feel urgent because emotions like anger or fear create a sense of immediacy. By reminding yourself that these feelings will pass, you can create space to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. This awareness reduces the intensity of the emotion, making it easier to see the challenge as an opportunity rather than a threat. Challenges often test your values, and this test can be a source of growth. When an emotional trigger arises, it's an invitation to reflect on what matters most to you. If someone questions your decisions, it might stir self-doubt, but it can also strengthen your commitment to your principles. By aligning your response with your core values, you reinforce your sense of integrity and self-respect. Triggers also offer a chance to practice resilience. Each time you face a challenge and choose a constructive response, you build the inner strength to handle future difficulties. Resilience is not about avoiding challenges, but about meeting them with courage and adaptability. When a disappointment or setback arises, asking yourself, "What can I learn from this?" or "How can I grow through this?" shifts your focus from the pain of the moment to the possibilities it holds. Another way to reframe challenges is to view them as exercises in emotional regulation. Triggers often push you to the edge of your comfort zone, where self-control is tested. By treating these moments as opportunities to refine your emotional skills, you transform discomfort into practice. For instance, a delay that stirs impatience becomes a chance to practice mindfulness, while a misunderstanding that sparks frustration becomes a chance to practice clear communication. Reframing challenges also nurtures empathy. When someone's behavior triggers you, it's easy to focus solely on your reaction. However, considering the other person's perspective can soften your response. Perhaps their harsh words stem from their own stress or insecurity. This shift in focus doesn't excuse their behavior, but allows you to respond with understanding rather than defensiveness. This empathy not only eases the immediate tension, but also deepens your emotional intelligence. Gratitude can be a surprising ally in reframing challenges. While it may seem counterintuitive, finding gratitude for the growth a challenge offers can transform how you experience it. A difficult interaction with a coworker might make you grateful for the chance to practice assertiveness, while a personal failure might spark gratitude for the lessons it teaches about perseverance. Gratitude shifts your focus from what the challenge takes away to what it gives. Reframing also involves letting go of perfectionism. Emotional triggers often arise from unrealistic expectations of yourself, others, or situations. A setback can feel devastating if you're striving for flawlessness, but reframing it as a natural part of growth eases the pressure. Accepting that mistakes and challenges are inevitable allows you to approach them with curiosity rather than judgment. Self-compassion plays a crucial role in reframing challenges. When a trigger highlights a perceived weakness or failure, it's easy to spiral into self-criticism. Reframing these moments with self-compassion reminds you that growth is a process and that every misstep is an opportunity to learn. Treating yourself with the same kindness you would offer a friend fosters resilience and emotional stability. Viewing challenges as opportunities also strengthens your problem-solving skills. Emotional triggers often highlight areas of life that need attention or adjustment. A recurring argument with a partner, for instance, might signal unmet needs or unclear communication. Instead of focusing solely on the discomfort, reframing the situation as a puzzle to solve empowers you to take constructive action. Reframing challenges doesn't mean denying their difficulty. It's about holding space for both the struggle and the potential for growth. A health scare can be frightening, but it can also motivate lifestyle changes that lead to better well-being. A job loss can be disorienting, but it can also open the door to new opportunities. This dual perspective fosters balance, allowing you to face challenges with both realism and hope. Resilience is built not only through reframing, but also through repetition. Each time you encounter a trigger and choose growth over reactivity, you reinforce this mindset. Over time, reframing becomes second nature, transforming how you approach life's difficulties. Challenges that once felt overwhelming become manageable, and even the most painful experiences reveal their potential for growth. Reframing also deepens your sense of purpose. When challenges are seen as opportunities to practice patience, compassion, or strength, they become meaningful rather than arbitrary. This sense of purpose fuels motivation, helping you navigate even the toughest moments with a sense of direction and resolve. By reframing challenges, you reclaim agency over your emotional experience. Instead of feeling at the mercy of triggers, you take an active role in shaping how you respond. This empowerment extends beyond individual moments, influencing how you approach life as a whole. With each challenge reframed, you cultivate a mindset of growth, resilience, and emotional mastery, turning even the most difficult experiences into stepping stones toward greater understanding and strength. Reframing challenges reveals the incredible power of perspective. showing how growth can arise from even the most difficult moments. Yet, in the heat of emotional distress, before the mind can reframe and respond thoughtfully, the body often takes the lead. The heart races, breathing quickens, and tension grips every muscle. To calm this storm, we turn to one of the most profound tools available, the breath. Rooted in Buddhist wisdom, controlled breathing practices offer a gateway to stabilize emotions, restore clarity, and anchor you in the present moment. The breath, so often taken for granted, holds the key to finding peace amidst chaos. Breathing is the most constant and reliable rhythm of life, yet it's also deeply tied to how you feel. When stress or anger arises, the breath often becomes shallow and rapid, fueling the intensity of the emotion. By consciously altering your breathing pattern, you send signals to your body that it's safe to relax. This simple act disrupts the cycle of escalating tension and creates space for calm to take hold. Mindfulness of breath, a core Buddhist practice, emphasizes observing the natural flow of your breathing without judgment or effort. This practice encourages you to focus on each inhale and exhale, paying attention to the sensations as air moves in and out of your body. By grounding your awareness in the present moment, mindfulness of breath reduces the influence of anxious thoughts or overwhelming emotions. It reminds you that while your feelings may be intense, they are also temporary and manageable. One powerful breathing technique is diaphragmatic breathing, also known as belly breathing. This practice involves drawing the breath deep into your abdomen, allowing your belly to rise with each inhale and fall with each exhale. This deep, slow breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which counteracts the body's stress response. Over time, diaphragmatic breathing can lower overall stress levels and enhance your ability to remain calm under pressure. Alternate nostril breathing, a technique rooted in ancient practices, is another effective way to stabilize emotions. By alternating your breath between the left and right nostrils, this practice balances the two hemispheres of the brain and promotes a sense of equilibrium. It's particularly helpful when you feel overwhelmed or scattered, as it fosters mental clarity and emotional steadiness. Counting breaths is a simple yet profound method to regain control during moments of distress. By counting each inhale and exhale, 1 on the inhale, 2 on the exhale, and so on, you give your mind a focal point that draws attention away from racing thoughts. This practice also encourages steady, rhythmic breathing, which soothes the nervous system and reduces emotional intensity. Lengthening the exhale is another technique that can help calm the storm within. The exhale engages the body's relaxation response, signaling that it's time to let go of tension. By making your exhale slightly longer than your inhale, for example, inhaling for 4 counts and exhaling for 6, you amplify this effect, creating a profound sense of ease. This method is especially useful when anxiety feels overwhelming, as it directly counters the physiological effects of panic. The connection between breath and mindfulness extends to observing the spaces between breaths. These natural pauses, the moment after an inhale before the exhale begins, and the moment after an exhale before the next inhale, are often overlooked but hold immense potential for stillness and clarity. By noticing and appreciating these gaps, you cultivate a sense of calm and presence that transcends the flow of thoughts or emotions. Breathing techniques also help you navigate the physical sensations of emotions. When anger or fear arises, it often manifests as tightness in the chest, a lump in the throat, or a knot in the stomach. Focusing on the breath provides an anchor amidst these sensations, offering relief without suppressing what you feel. This grounding effect allows you to process emotions without being overwhelmed by them. Incorporating visualization into your breathing practice can enhance its effectiveness. For instance, with each inhale, you might picture yourself drawing in calm, steady energy, and with each exhale, releasing tension or negativity. Visualization adds a layer of intention to your breathing, reinforcing the idea that each breath is an act of self-care and renewal. Breathing practices also encourage self-awareness by illuminating the relationship between your thoughts, emotions, and physical state. When you notice that your breath has become shallow or erratic, it serves as a signal to pause and check in with yourself. This awareness helps you identify triggers and address them proactively, reducing the likelihood of reactive behavior. Consistency in breathing practices builds resilience over time. While these techniques are invaluable during moments of distress, their benefits deepen with regular practice. By integrating mindful breathing into your daily routine, you create a reservoir of calm that supports you in navigating life's challenges with greater ease. This consistency also strengthens your ability to shift into a state of relaxation more quickly when emotional storms arise. Breathing is inherently connected to rhythm and balance. By aligning your breath with a steady rhythm, you create harmony within your body and mind. This sense of balance fosters emotional stability, allowing you to approach difficulties with a clear and centered perspective. It also enhances your ability to stay present, reducing the influence of past regrets or future worries. Another significant benefit of controlled breathing is its accessibility. Unlike other tools or techniques, your breath is always with you, ready to be used as a source of comfort and strength. Whether you're in the middle of a heated conversation, navigating a challenging situation, or simply feeling overwhelmed, your breath is a constant ally, offering a path back to calm. The simplicity of breathing techniques belies their profound impact. They remind you that even in the face of life's most intense challenges, peace is only a breath away, by cultivating a mindful relationship with your breath. You gain not only a tool for managing emotions, but also a deeper appreciation for the present moment. Each inhale and exhale becomes an act of grounding, a reminder that you have the power to shape your inner world, no matter what external circumstances arise. The breath teaches you that peace can be found in the most fundamental and constant rhythms of life. It anchors you in the present and provides calm amidst chaos. Yet, even with this powerful tool, emotional storms often arise from one deeply ingrained source: attachment. Whether it's attachment to specific outcomes, people, or expectations, this mental grasping pulls you into cycles of anxiety, frustration, and disappointment. Non-attachment, a cornerstone of Buddhist wisdom, offers a way out. It is not about indifference or disengagement, but about releasing the tight hold on things you cannot control, allowing you to experience freedom and clarity. Non-attachment begins with understanding that clinging to outcomes often creates more suffering than the situations themselves. When your happiness or peace depends on a specific result, any deviation from that result feels like failure or loss. This dependency amplifies anxiety and diminishes your ability to adapt. Non-attachment allows you to invest effort and care without becoming entangled in whether things unfold exactly as you envisioned. It shifts your focus from controlling the external world to mastering your internal state. The root of attachment lies in the mind's tendency to seek permanence in a world defined by change. Outcomes, relationships, and circumstances are constantly shifting, yet the mind resists this reality, clinging to what feels stable. Non-attachment is not about giving up on aspirations or connections. It's about engaging with them without being consumed by their impermanence. It teaches you to appreciate the present without fearing its end or trying to freeze it in time. Non-attachment frees you from the burden of overreaction. When you are attached to a specific outcome, any obstacle or deviation can trigger frustration or despair. This emotional reactivity often clouds judgment and leads to impulsive decisions. By practicing non-attachment, you create space to respond thoughtfully rather than react emotionally. This freedom from knee-jerk reactions fosters clarity and resilience. Reducing attachment to outcomes also enhances your ability to embrace uncertainty. Life is inherently unpredictable, yet attachment creates the illusion that you can control every detail. This illusion breeds anxiety, as the mind constantly fears losing its grip. Non-attachment replaces this fear with curiosity and openness, allowing you to navigate the unknown with confidence and grace. It transforms uncertainty from a source of stress into a space of possibility. Non-attachment encourages you to redefine success. In a culture that often equates success with external achievements, attachment to specific goals can lead to feelings of inadequacy or failure when those goals are not met. Non-attachment invites you to focus on effort and intention rather than outcomes. It reminds you that growth and learning hold greater value than fleeting markers of success. This shift in perspective reduces anxiety and fosters a sense of fulfillment that is not tied to external validation. Relationships also benefit profoundly from non-attachment. Clinging to how others should behave or respond often creates tension and disappointment. Non-attachment allows you to love and connect without trying to control or possess. It fosters respect for the autonomy of others, creating space for authentic and balanced relationships. By letting go of the need for others to meet your expectations, you strengthen your ability to appreciate them as they are. Non-attachment is not a one-time decision, but a practice that unfolds over time. It begins with small steps, like questioning your assumptions about what you need to be happy. Do you really need a promotion to feel valued, or is that value already within you? Must a relationship look a certain way to feel fulfilling, or can it evolve naturally? These questions help you identify areas where attachment may be limiting your freedom. The practice of non-attachment also involves releasing the fear of loss. Much of attachment stems from a desire to hold on to what feels safe or familiar, even when it no longer serves you. Non-attachment doesn't mean ignoring loss or pretending it doesn't hurt. It means acknowledging that loss is part of life and choosing to focus on what remains. This perspective fosters resilience, allowing you to move forward without being weighed down by what you've left behind. Gratitude plays a key role in cultivating non-attachment. By appreciating what you have in the moment, you reduce the urge to cling or control. Gratitude shifts your focus from what might go wrong to what is already good, fostering a sense of contentment and reducing the anxiety that often accompanies attachment. This practice helps you engage fully with life without becoming overly invested in its outcomes. Non-attachment also enhances creativity and problem-solving. When you release the need for a specific result, you open yourself to alternative possibilities. This openness allows you to explore new paths and solutions that might have been overlooked in a more rigid mindset. Non-attachment fosters flexibility, enabling you to adapt and thrive in changing circumstances. The process of non-attachment is deeply tied to mindfulness. By observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment, you begin to see how attachment shapes your reactions. Mindfulness helps you notice when you're clinging to a particular idea, person, or outcome, and provides the space to let go. This awareness is the first step toward cultivating the freedom to choose how you engage with the world. Non-attachment does not mean giving up on joy or connection. It enhances them by freeing you from the fear of their loss. When you are not clinging to what brings happiness, you can experience it more fully in the moment. Non-attachment transforms joy from something you chase into something you embody. Practicing non-attachment also deepens your understanding of self-worth. Attachment often ties your sense of value to external factors, achievements, relationships, or possessions. Non-attachment reminds you that your worth is inherent and unchanging, regardless of circumstances. This shift in perspective fosters confidence and emotional stability, as your sense of self is no longer tied to things beyond your control. Non-attachment is a profound act of trust. Trust in yourself, in others, and in the flow of life. It requires releasing the need to micromanage every detail and embracing the idea that things can unfold as they should, even if it's not according to your plan. This trust fosters a sense of peace that no amount of external control can provide. The practice of non-attachment also nurtures compassion. By letting go of rigid expectations, you become more understanding of others' struggles and imperfections. This openness fosters deeper connections and reduces conflict as you approach relationships with acceptance rather than demands. Non-attachment liberates you from the endless cycle of if-only thinking, the belief that happiness lies just beyond the next milestone. It reminds you that peace and fulfillment are available now, not in some imagined future. This realization transforms how you engage with life, shifting your focus from what's missing to what's present. Through non-attachment, you cultivate a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. When you are not clinging to specific outcomes, you recognize the richness of possibilities that life offers. This abundance mindset reduces fear and fosters a sense of ease, allowing you to move through life with confidence and joy. Non-attachment is not about detaching from life, but engaging with it more fully. By releasing the grip of attachment, you free yourself to experience each moment as it is, without the weight of expectations or the fear of loss. This freedom transforms not only how you feel, but also how you live, creating a life rooted in peace, clarity, and authentic connection. Non-attachment liberates you from the weight of expectations, creating space for peace and resilience in every moment. Yet, even with this clarity, life inevitably brings moments of conflict, those interactions where differing perspectives or emotions collide. Conflict can quickly escalate, damaging relationships and inner calm, but it also offers an opportunity to practice equanimity, understanding, and compassion. Buddhist wisdom provides profound tools to navigate these moments with grace, responding not with anger or defensiveness, but with clarity and calm. Conflict often begins with a misunderstanding or a clash of unmet needs. In these moments, the natural response is to defend, argue, or assert control. Buddhist principles encourage a pause before action, allowing space to observe the situation as it is, rather than reacting impulsively. This moment of stillness creates a foundation for responding with intention instead of letting emotions drive the interaction. Pausing may feel counterintuitive in the heat of the moment, but it is a powerful way to shift from escalation to resolution. Awareness of your own emotional state is key to managing conflict. When anger or frustration arises, it clouds judgment and fuels reactive behavior. Buddhist practices emphasize self-awareness as a tool to identify these emotions before they take control. Observing your feelings without judgment helps you separate the emotion from the situation, giving you greater clarity to address the issue without letting your emotions dictate the outcome. This awareness allows you to remain calm even when others are not. Listening deeply is another essential principle in Buddhist wisdom. Conflict often intensifies because people feel unheard or misunderstood. By focusing your full attention on what the other person is saying, you create space for understanding. Deep listening is not just about hearing words, it's about being fully present, noticing tone, body language, and underlying emotions. This practice fosters empathy and reduces defensiveness, opening the door to constructive dialogue. Compassion plays a transformative role in navigating conflict. Recognizing that the other person's anger, frustration, or resistance may stem from their own pain or struggles shifts the dynamic of the interaction. Compassion does not mean agreeing with or excusing harmful behavior, but it helps you approach the situation with kindness rather than hostility. This shift often de-escalates tension and creates a sense of safety, making resolution more achievable. Non-attachment is equally vital in conflict resolution. Often, arguments persist because of a need to be right or to win. This attachment to a specific outcome or validation fuels frustration and prolongs discord. By letting go of the need to dominate or prove a point, you open yourself to finding common ground. Non-attachment allows you to prioritize the health of the relationship over the desire to be right, fostering collaboration rather than division. Mindful speech is another key practice in managing conflict. Words have immense power to heal or harm, and in moments of tension, it's easy to say things that escalate the situation. Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of speaking with intention, choosing words that are truthful, kind, and necessary. This mindfulness in communication reduces misunderstandings and builds trust, even in challenging conversations. Conflict also provides an opportunity to examine your own triggers and patterns. Often, what irritates or angers you in others reflects unresolved issues within yourself. Buddhist wisdom encourages introspection to understand why certain situations or comments provoke strong reactions. This self-awareness not only helps you manage the current conflict, but also prepares you to handle similar situations more effectively in the future. Equanimity, or balanced composure, is a cornerstone of Buddhist conflict resolution. Maintaining emotional steadiness amidst tension allows you to approach the situation with clarity. Equanimity is not about suppressing emotions, but about engaging with them from a place of calm. It enables you to stay grounded even when faced with accusations or hostility, creating an atmosphere where resolution becomes possible. Another essential principle is seeing the shared humanity in the person you're in conflict with. It's easy to dehumanize or vilify someone during a disagreement, viewing them solely through the lens of their actions or words. Buddhist teachings remind us that everyone carries their own struggles, fears, and desires. Recognizing this common humanity fosters understanding and compassion, helping you move beyond blame to seek solutions. Taking responsibility for your part in the conflict is also crucial. While it's natural to focus on the other person's actions, acknowledging how your behavior or assumptions may have contributed to the situation creates space for resolution. This accountability is not about self-blame, but about demonstrating a willingness to grow and improve. It sets a tone of mutual respect, encouraging the other person to reflect on their own actions as well. Patience is a powerful ally in conflict resolution. Emotions often run high during disagreements, and rushing to resolve the issue can lead to further misunderstandings. Buddhist wisdom teaches the value of allowing time for emotions to settle and clarity to emerge. Practicing patience doesn't mean avoiding the issue, but approaching it with a calm and measured mindset, giving both parties the opportunity to express themselves fully. Conflict can also be reframed as an opportunity for connection. While disagreements may seem divisive, they also provide a chance to deepen understanding and strengthen relationships. Approaching conflict with the intention to connect rather than compete fosters an atmosphere of collaboration. This mindset encourages both parties to work together toward a solution that benefits everyone. Forgiveness plays a vital role in resolving conflicts. Holding on to resentment or grudges only prolongs the pain and keeps the conflict alive. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning hurtful behavior, but releasing the emotional burden it creates. Buddhist wisdom encourages forgiving not just others, but also yourself, recognizing that everyone makes mistakes and that growth often arises from these moments. Conflict resolution also involves flexibility. Clinging rigidly to your perspective or demands creates barriers to understanding and agreement. Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of openness and adaptability, allowing you to consider alternative viewpoints and solutions. This flexibility demonstrates respect for the other person's perspective and fosters a spirit of cooperation. Boundaries are an important part of navigating conflict. While compassion and understanding are essential, they don't mean tolerating harmful behavior. Buddhist wisdom encourages setting clear and respectful boundaries to protect your well-being while addressing the issue. These boundaries create a framework for constructive dialogue, ensuring that the resolution process remains respectful and productive. Navigating conflict with Buddhist wisdom transforms it from a source of stress into an opportunity for growth. By approaching disagreements with calmness, clarity, and compassion, you create space for healing and understanding. These principles not only resolve individual conflicts, but also foster stronger relationships and a deeper sense of inner peace. Each moment of tension becomes a chance to practice patience, empathy, and equanimity, turning discord into a path of connection and growth. Navigating conflict with calmness and clarity reveals how much of our emotional turmoil arises not from the situation itself, but from the way we interpret it. This understanding brings us to a profound question. Where do emotions come from? Buddhist psychology teaches that emotions are not random or uncontrollable forces, but arise from specific perceptions and mental patterns. By exploring their origins, you can gain insight into your emotional experiences and learn how to shift your perspective to cultivate greater control and inner peace. Emotions are deeply tied to how the mind processes and interprets experiences. In Buddhist thought, perceptions are the starting point for emotional responses. When you encounter a situation, your mind instantly labels it pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. These labels trigger corresponding emotions, such as joy, anger, or indifference. Recognizing this process is the first step toward understanding that emotions are not inherently fixed. They are shaped by your perceptions. Perceptions are influenced by past experiences, cultural conditioning, and personal beliefs. For example, if you've been criticized repeatedly in the past, even neutral feedback may be perceived as a personal attack, triggering defensiveness or hurt. This conditioning often operates unconsciously, leading to automatic emotional reactions. Buddhist psychology encourages you to bring awareness to these patterns, observing how past experiences shape your present perceptions and emotions. By questioning the accuracy of your perceptions, you create space to shift your emotional responses. A person cutting you off in traffic might initially trigger anger because your mind labels it as disrespect. However, by examining this perception, you might realize they could be rushing to an emergency or simply unaware of their actions. Shifting your perspective doesn't excuse bad behavior, but frees you from being consumed by the emotional response. The role of attachment in shaping emotions is central in Buddhist psychology. When you cling to certain outcomes or desires, your emotions become tied to their fulfillment. Joy turns to frustration when expectations aren't met, and contentment becomes anxiety when there's fear of losing what you value. Understanding this connection between attachment and emotional turbulence allows you to let go of unnecessary expectations, reducing the intensity of negative emotions. Aversion, the counterpart to attachment, also plays a significant role in emotional experiences. When you push away unpleasant situations or resist discomfort, emotions like anger, fear, or frustration often arise. Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of accepting unpleasant experiences rather than resisting them. This acceptance doesn't mean passivity. It means acknowledging reality without adding the emotional weight of rejection or denial. Emotions are not isolated events. They are part of an interconnected web of thoughts, beliefs, and sensations. Fear, for example, often arises from thoughts about future uncertainties, while sadness might stem from beliefs about loss or inadequacy. By tracing an emotion back to its source, you gain insight into the thoughts and perceptions fueling it. This awareness helps you address the root cause rather than just the surface symptom. Buddhist psychology highlights the impermanence of emotions. No feeling, no matter how intense, lasts forever. Emotions rise and fall like waves, influenced by changing circumstances and mental states. When you recognize their impermanence, you're less likely to become overwhelmed by them. Instead, you can observe them with curiosity, knowing they will pass. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for understanding the source of emotions. By observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment, you become aware of how your mind constructs emotional experiences. This observation allows you to identify patterns and triggers, providing a foundation for shifting your perspective. Mindfulness transforms emotions from something that happens to you into something you can actively work with. Compassion for yourself is essential when exploring the source of emotions. It's easy to become frustrated or critical when you notice how your perceptions create unnecessary emotional distress. Buddhist psychology teaches that self-compassion fosters growth and resilience. By treating yourself with kindness, you create a supportive environment for understanding and transforming your emotional patterns. Shifting perspective often involves reframing how you view challenges or discomfort. Instead of seeing a difficult situation as a threat, you might view it as an opportunity to practice patience or resilience. This shift doesn't eliminate the challenge, but changes how you experience it emotionally. Reframing your perspective creates a sense of empowerment as you realize that you have control over how you interpret and respond to events. The relationship between thoughts and emotions is deeply intertwined. Negative thoughts often fuel negative emotions, creating a feedback loop that can spiral out of control. Buddhist psychology emphasizes breaking this loop by addressing the thoughts at its core. By questioning the validity of negative thoughts, you weaken their emotional impact. For example, replacing "I always fail" with "I'm learning and growing" transforms self-doubt into motivation. Body awareness is another crucial aspect of understanding emotions. Emotions often manifest physically: tightness in the chest, a lump in the throat, or a racing heart. By tuning into these sensations, you gain insight into your emotional state before it fully takes hold. This awareness allows you to address emotions early, preventing them from escalating. The role of unmet needs in shaping emotions is another important consideration. Emotions like anger or sadness often arise when a need, such as respect, safety, or connection, feels threatened. Buddhist psychology encourages exploring these underlying needs with curiosity rather than judgment. By identifying and addressing these needs, you can transform reactive emotions into constructive actions. Recognizing the interconnectedness of all things can also shift your emotional perspective. Buddhist teachings often emphasize that no situation or person exists in isolation. Everything is influenced by countless factors. This understanding fosters empathy and reduces the intensity of negative emotions. For example, when someone acts harshly, recognizing their own struggles or conditioning can soften your anger and increase your compassion. Buddhist psychology also teaches the importance of equanimity in managing emotions. Equanimity involves maintaining balance and composure regardless of external circumstances. By cultivating equanimity, you learn to engage with emotions without being swept away by them. This practice creates a sense of stability and clarity, allowing you to respond to life's challenges with greater ease. Gratitude is another transformative practice for shifting emotional perspectives. Focusing on what you appreciate shifts your attention from lack or dissatisfaction to abundance and contentment. Gratitude doesn't negate challenges, but balances them with recognition of life's blessings. This shift in focus fosters positive emotions and reduces the hold of negative ones. Ultimately, Buddhist psychology teaches that emotions are not fixed or unchangeable. They are dynamic, arising from perceptions and thoughts that you can observe, question, and reshape. By understanding their source, you gain the power to transform how you experience and respond to them. This process requires patience, curiosity, and compassion, but the rewards, emotional freedom, resilience, and inner peace, are profound. Each moment of insight brings you closer to mastering your emotions and living with greater clarity and joy. Understanding the origins of emotions reveals how deeply perceptions shape your inner world. This awareness equips you with tools to shift your perspective, but there is another profound way to master emotional regulation: through stillness and silence. In a world filled with constant noise and endless activity, the ability to embrace silence can feel elusive, yet transformative. Silence is not merely the absence of sound, it is a presence, a space where clarity emerges and calm responses take shape. Stillness offers a refuge from chaos, allowing emotions to settle and insights to rise to the surface. Silence allows the mind to pause. When you are caught in an emotionally charged moment, the natural reaction is often to fill the space, whether through words, actions, or overthinking. This instinct to react can intensify emotions, fueling anger, anxiety, or confusion. Embracing silence, however, creates a buffer between your feelings and your response. This pause provides time to observe your emotions without being overwhelmed by them, giving you the power to choose how to proceed. Stillness enhances your ability to listen, not only to others, but also to yourself. In moments of silence, you can tune into the subtler signals of your body and mind, noticing the tension, the thoughts, or the unmet needs underlying your emotions. This self-awareness is the foundation of emotional regulation, as it allows you to address the root causes of your feelings rather than reacting to surface-level triggers. Silence offers the opportunity to hear your inner voice, one that is often drowned out by external noise or internal chatter. Stillness also cultivates patience. In a culture that values speed and instant results, silence reminds you of the power of slowing down. When you sit in stillness, you learn to tolerate discomfort and uncertainty, building resilience against impulsive reactions. This practice trains your mind to accept that not every problem needs an immediate solution. Not every emotion demands immediate expression. Patience born from silence fosters thoughtful, deliberate responses that align with your values. Silence is deeply restorative. Emotional turmoil often leaves the mind feeling scattered and fatigued, making it difficult to think clearly or respond calmly. Stillness provides a space to recharge, allowing your mental and emotional energy to stabilize. It's in this quiet space that your mind can process emotions more effectively, leading to clarity and insight. Silence acts as a balm, soothing the intensity of emotional storms and restoring balance. Stillness is not passive. It is an active practice of presence. It involves being fully aware of the moment without the need to change, fix, or control it. In this presence, you learn to accept emotions as they are, without judgment or resistance. This acceptance creates emotional freedom, as it breaks the cycle of suppressing or exaggerating feelings. Stillness teaches you that you can coexist with difficult emotions without being defined or consumed by them. In silence, the mind naturally shifts from reactivity to reflection. When you stop to embrace stillness, you create the mental space to explore deeper questions. What is this emotion trying to tell me? Is my reaction proportionate to the situation? How can I respond in a way that aligns with my principles? These reflective questions transform emotional triggers into opportunities for growth and self-discovery. Silence gives you the time to ask, listen, and answer with clarity. Silence also strengthens your capacity for empathy. When you remain still and quiet in a conversation, you give the other person the space to express themselves fully. This openness fosters understanding and connection, reducing the likelihood of conflict. Silence creates a non-judgmental environment where emotions can be shared without fear of interruption or invalidation. It is in these moments of stillness that relationships deepen, as both parties feel truly heard and valued. Stillness invites you to embrace impermanence. Emotions, no matter how intense, are transient. By sitting in silence, you allow yourself to observe the rise and fall of your feelings without clinging to or resisting them. This practice reinforces the understanding that no emotion lasts forever, which reduces the urgency to react impulsively. Stillness becomes a reminder of the natural flow of life, where every emotion has its time and place, but need not dictate your actions. Incorporating intentional pauses into your daily life creates moments of silence that act as emotional reset buttons. Whether it's a few minutes of mindful breathing, sitting quietly in nature, or taking a break from screens and conversations, these pauses provide much-needed mental space. These small acts of stillness accumulate over time, building your capacity to remain calm and composed in more challenging situations. Silence is a teacher of detachment. When you sit in stillness, you begin to notice the stories your mind creates, the judgments, the fears, the assumptions, and how they fuel your emotions. By observing these mental narratives without engaging with them, You learn to detach from them. This detachment doesn't mean ignoring your emotions. It means recognizing that they are not absolute truths. Silence gives you the clarity to see your emotions for what they are. Temporary states, not permanent identities. Stillness also enhances your ability to prioritize. Emotional reactions often arise from a sense of urgency, a belief that everything demands your immediate attention. Silence helps you discern what truly matters. By stepping back from the noise, you can evaluate situations more objectively, deciding where to direct your energy and where to let go. This prioritization reduces emotional overwhelm and allows you to respond with greater focus and intention. The practice of silence extends beyond moments of stillness. It can be woven into your interactions with others, where thoughtful pauses replace hurried responses. When faced with a question or comment that provokes strong emotions, choosing to pause before speaking creates a moment of reflection. This pause not only helps you regulate your own emotions, but also sets a tone of respect and thoughtfulness in the conversation. Silence becomes a bridge to understanding rather than a gap in communication. In embracing silence, you also cultivate humility. Stillness teaches you that not every thought needs to be spoken, not every emotion needs to be acted upon. It reminds you of the value of listening over speaking, observing over asserting. This humility creates space for growth as you become more receptive to the lessons that silence reveals. Silence is a source of strength. It anchors you in the present, steadies your emotions, and sharpens your awareness. In its quiet embrace, you find the courage to face discomfort, the clarity to see through confusion, and the patience to wait for the right moment to act. Stillness is not the absence of action, but the preparation for intentional action. Ultimately, silence and stillness are not escapes from life, but deeper engagements with it. They offer a sanctuary where you can process, reflect, and grow, emerging with a clearer mind and a calmer heart. In the power of silence, you discover that true emotional regulation is not about suppressing feelings, but about creating the space to understand and respond to them wisely. The stillness of silence opens a pathway to clarity and calm, giving space for emotions to settle and wisdom to emerge. Yet, even with this tranquility, negative emotions can linger, pulling focus toward pain and frustration. These emotions, if left unchecked, can grow heavy and consuming. But there is a transformative force capable of reshaping even the darkest feelings: gratitude paired with reflection. When practiced intentionally, gratitude shifts your attention from what is missing or painful to what is abundant and meaningful. It is not denial of hardship, but a powerful reorientation toward peace and resilience. Gratitude begins with acknowledging the smallest details of life. When negative emotions arise, they often magnify everything that feels wrong, making challenges seem insurmountable. Gratitude breaks this cycle by grounding you in what is still good and steady, no matter how small. It might be the comfort of a warm drink on a tough day, the kindness of a stranger, or the simple act of taking a deep breath. By noticing these moments, you create a foundation of positivity that counters the weight of negativity. Reflection deepens the practice of gratitude, offering a chance to explore the roots of both your struggles and your blessings. When anger or sadness takes hold, reflection allows you to ask meaningful questions. What is this emotion teaching me? What strength have I gained from enduring similar moments in the past? By seeking lessons in difficulty, you reframe pain as an opportunity for growth. This shift doesn't erase hardship, but gives it purpose, reducing its grip on your heart. Gratitude also interrupts the habit of comparison, which often fuels negative emotions. When you compare your life to others' highlights, you create dissatisfaction and envy. Gratitude redirects your focus inward, reminding you of your unique journey and the gifts within it. Reflecting on your progress and the challenges you've overcome fosters a sense of pride and contentment, dissolving the urge to measure your worth against others. Negative emotions thrive in the absence of perspective. When frustration or fear arises, it often narrows your view, making it hard to see beyond the immediate discomfort. Gratitude expands your perspective, encouraging you to zoom out and see the bigger picture. It reminds you that difficulties are temporary and that life holds countless reasons to remain hopeful. This broader view transforms setbacks into stepping stones, reducing their emotional intensity. Reflection invites you to explore the interconnectedness of your experiences. Often, the very challenges that spark negative emotions also pave the way for growth, wisdom, or unexpected opportunities. Reflecting on moments of pain that later led to joy or success helps you appreciate the cyclical nature of life. Gratitude naturally arises when you recognize how even difficult experiences contribute to your journey, creating a sense of trust in the process. Gratitude is not limited to moments of happiness. It can also be found in times of struggle. When life feels heavy, it might seem counterintuitive to look for reasons to be thankful. Yet, these are the moments when gratitude is most powerful. Acknowledging the strength it takes to endure a hard day or the support of someone who cares can shift your focus from what's lacking to what's sustaining you. This practice builds resilience, as it highlights the resources and inner fortitude you possess. Negative emotions often carry valuable messages. Gratitude for these emotions, rather than resistance to them, opens the door to understanding. Anger might reveal a boundary that needs reinforcing, while sadness might point to something deeply cherished that feels lost. Reflecting on these messages with gratitude transforms emotions from obstacles into allies, guiding you toward clarity and action. Practicing gratitude also rewires the brain over time. Neuroscience shows that focusing on positive aspects of life strengthens neural pathways associated with joy and contentment. This doesn't mean ignoring problems, but choosing to focus on solutions and blessings instead of dwelling solely on what's wrong. Reflection amplifies this effect by helping you recognize patterns of growth and resilience in your life, reinforcing a mindset of abundance. Gratitude enhances your relationships by shifting the focus from grievances to appreciation. Negative emotions in relationships often stem from unmet expectations or misunderstandings. Reflecting on what you value in others, their kindness, humor, or support, helps you approach conflicts with compassion rather than blame. Expressing gratitude strengthens bonds, reminding both you and the other person of the connection you share. Reflection also helps you uncover hidden blessings in adversity. Challenges often bring out qualities such as courage, patience, or creativity that might otherwise remain dormant. By reflecting on these qualities and expressing gratitude for their emergence, you shift the narrative of hardship from one of loss to one of growth. This perspective fosters a sense of empowerment, reminding you that even in difficulty, you are capable of thriving. Gratitude is a powerful antidote to fear, which often accompanies negative emotions. Fear thrives on uncertainty and the belief that the worst will happen. Gratitude counters this by highlighting what is already secure and good in your life. Reflecting on moments when things worked out despite fear or uncertainty reinforces trust in your ability to navigate the unknown, reducing anxiety and fostering calm. Negative emotions often stem from unmet desires or attachments. Gratitude invites you to focus on sufficiency rather than lack, reminding you of what you already have. Reflection helps you identify where desires may have overshadowed contentment, encouraging a shift toward appreciating the present. This practice reduces the grip of longing and fosters a sense of peace with what is. Gratitude also promotes emotional balance. When faced with intense emotions, the practice of naming 3 things you're grateful for can create a sense of grounding. This simple act shifts your attention from the overwhelming to the manageable, helping you regain control. Reflecting on these moments of gratitude reinforces their impact, creating a buffer against future waves of negativity. Incorporating gratitude into daily rituals strengthens its influence. Journaling about what you're thankful for, sharing words of appreciation with others, or pausing to reflect on the day's highlights creates a habit of positivity. These practices don't erase challenges, but make it easier to face them with a resilient and open heart. Reflection deepens this habit by helping you see connections between your gratitude and your emotional well-being. Transforming negative emotions through gratitude and reflection doesn't mean avoiding or suppressing them. It means meeting them with kindness, curiosity, and perspective. By acknowledging the lessons they offer and balancing them with an appreciation for what is good, you shift from a state of struggle to one of growth and peace. Gratitude and reflection are not quick fixes, but lifelong practices that reshape how you experience and respond to life, creating a foundation of inner stability and joy. Gratitude and reflection illuminate a path through life's challenges, revealing strength in vulnerability and abundance in simplicity. Yet, life often calls for resilience, an ability to stand steady when storms arise. Buddhist teachings offer profound wisdom for cultivating this invincibility, not through resistance or force, but through understanding, adaptability, and inner clarity. These principles, honed through centuries of practice, hold the keys to navigating any situation with unshakable confidence and peace. Resilience begins with understanding impermanence, one of Buddhism's foundational teachings. Nothing in life is fixed or permanent. The challenges that seem overwhelming today are temporary, just as joy and success are fleeting. By internalizing this truth, you learn to approach difficulties with patience and perspective. When hardship arises, instead of clinging to the pain or resisting the change, you accept the ebb and flow of life. This acceptance does not mean passivity. It is a dynamic engagement with reality, free from unnecessary suffering. Equanimity is another powerful teaching that fosters invincibility. This state of mental calm and balance allows you to maintain clarity regardless of external circumstances. It's the ability to experience joy without becoming attached, and to endure pain without being consumed. Equanimity is cultivated through mindfulness, where you observe emotions and events without judgment, creating space between the stimulus and your response. This calm detachment empowers you to act with wisdom rather than react impulsively, even in the most challenging situations. The practice of right speech, part of the Noble Eightfold Path, strengthens your ability to navigate conflicts and build meaningful relationships. Words hold immense power. They can heal or harm, inspire or discourage. Being mindful of your speech means speaking truthfully, kindly, and purposefully. This practice reduces misunderstandings and fosters trust, making it easier to address challenges collaboratively rather than confrontationally. Right speech is not only about what you say, but also about what you choose not to say, ensuring your words contribute to peace and clarity. Compassion, both for yourself and others, is a cornerstone of invincibility. Life's difficulties often arise from unmet expectations or misunderstandings. Cultivating compassion softens the edges of these experiences, transforming frustration into understanding and anger into forgiveness. Compassion begins with self-kindness, recognizing that perfection is neither possible nor necessary. From this foundation, it extends outward, enabling you to approach others with empathy, even in conflict. Compassion does not weaken you. It strengthens your connections and fosters resilience in the face of adversity. Non-attachment, another key teaching, liberates you from the emotional turbulence caused by clinging to specific outcomes. Attachment to how things should be creates frustration when reality diverges from expectation. Non-attachment doesn't mean apathy or indifference. It means engaging fully with life while accepting its unpredictability. By letting go of rigid expectations, you free yourself to respond to challenges with creativity and adaptability. This flexibility is a hallmark of invincibility, allowing you to thrive even when plans go awry. Mindfulness, the practice of being fully present in the moment, sharpens your awareness and enhances your ability to handle difficult situations. When you focus on the present, you release the mental chatter of past regrets and future anxieties. This clarity allows you to assess situations accurately and act decisively. Mindfulness is not about escaping reality, but embracing it with open eyes and a steady heart. It grounds you in the here and now, where true power resides. The concept of the middle way, a balance between extremes, teaches you to approach life with moderation and wisdom. In the face of challenges, it's easy to overreact or withdraw completely. The middle way encourages a measured response, neither avoiding problems nor becoming overwhelmed by them. This balanced approach fosters resilience, as it keeps you centered amidst life's ups and downs. By walking the middle path, you conserve your energy for thoughtful action rather than being swept away by emotional extremes. Patience is a vital teaching that builds invincibility over time. Challenges often demand endurance, a willingness to wait and persevere. Patience is not merely passive waiting. It is an active state of calm, rooted in the understanding that everything unfolds in its time. This practice reduces frustration and helps you navigate difficulties with grace. Patience also fosters trust in yourself and the process of life, reminding you that growth often comes through persistence and time. Gratitude, though simple, is a profound practice that reinforces emotional strength. Even in adversity, finding something to be grateful for shifts your focus from lack to abundance, from despair to hope. Gratitude reminds you of the resources, relationships, and resilience you already possess, empowering you to face challenges with confidence. Reflecting on what you appreciate creates a mindset of abundance, making you less likely to feel defeated by temporary setbacks. The teaching of self-awareness ties all these principles together. Understanding your thoughts, emotions, and triggers gives you the power to choose your responses rather than being controlled by them. Self-awareness allows you to recognize patterns that no longer serve you and to cultivate habits that align with your values. It is the foundation of true invincibility, as it places the source of your strength within you rather than in external circumstances. Buddhist teachings do not promise a life free from challenges, but they provide the tools to navigate them with wisdom, grace, and resilience. Each principle, from impermanence to self-awareness, offers a piece of the puzzle, creating a framework for inner strength that no external situation can shake. Together, they form a path to invincibility, not by hardening against life, but by flowing with it, meeting each moment with clarity, compassion, and courage. The teachings that guide inner invincibility remind you of the immense power already within you, an ability to face challenges with clarity, courage, and calm. Yet, the human experience is not without pain, whether physical, emotional, or mental. Healing becomes a journey not just of recovery, but of reconnection with the self. Buddhist wisdom offers gentle yet transformative ways to heal naturally, rooted in harmony with life, the mind, and the body. These teachings provide tools to not only soothe the wounds of suffering, but also to nurture resilience and a deeper sense of well-being. Healing begins with recognizing the mind-body connection. In Buddhism, the mind is seen as the source of both suffering and liberation. Negative thoughts and emotions often manifest physically, leading to stress, fatigue, or illness. Healing naturally starts with quieting the mind and cultivating positivity. Mindfulness is a profound practice for achieving this, allowing you to observe thoughts without being controlled by them. By anchoring your attention in the present moment, you release the mental tension that fuels physical discomfort, creating space for natural restoration. Breathwork is another powerful tool for natural healing. The breath, always present and accessible, serves as a bridge between the mind and body. Slow, deep breathing calms the nervous system, reduces stress hormones, and brings balance to your internal state. Conscious breathing also improves oxygen flow, supporting physical healing at the cellular level. Regularly practicing mindful breathing fosters an environment where your body's natural healing mechanisms can thrive. Compassion plays a central role in healing, particularly self-compassion. Often the harsh judgments you direct toward yourself create emotional pain that impedes recovery. Buddhist teachings encourage you to treat yourself with the same kindness and care you would offer a dear friend. This shift in perspective reduces inner conflict and fosters a nurturing environment for growth and healing. Self-compassion also allows you to accept your current state without resistance, which is a vital step in moving toward well-being. Natural healing is deeply tied to the concept of balance. Just as the middle way teaches moderation in life, achieving balance in your daily routines promotes both physical and emotional health. Overwork, overstimulation, and neglect of self-care can lead to exhaustion and disconnection. Healing requires mindful attention to your body's needs, whether through restful sleep, nourishing food, or restorative practices like yoga or Tai Chi. These acts of balance realign your energy and strengthen your resilience. Gratitude enhances the healing process by shifting focus from pain or illness to the aspects of life that bring joy and fulfillment. Reflecting on what you are thankful for reduces stress and cultivates a mindset of abundance, which supports the body's natural ability to heal. Gratitude also encourages you to view healing as a journey rather than a destination, celebrating small milestones and progress along the way. Letting go is another essential aspect of natural healing. Attachment to past hurts, unresolved conflicts, or expectations about how healing should look can create additional suffering. Buddhist wisdom teaches that releasing these attachments frees the mind and body to focus on the present moment, where true healing occurs. Letting go is not about forgetting or ignoring pain, but about choosing to move forward without carrying unnecessary burdens. Connection with nature is a profound source of healing. The natural world, with its rhythms and cycles, offers a powerful reminder of life's interconnectedness. Spending time in green spaces, listening to the sounds of water or wind, and observing the simplicity of a tree's growth can soothe the mind and reinvigorate the spirit. Nature provides a setting for mindfulness, where you can reconnect with your inner self while absorbing the calming energy of the earth. Meditation is a cornerstone of Buddhist healing practices. Sitting quietly with your thoughts allows you to observe patterns that may contribute to suffering and to replace them with clarity and peace. Loving kindness meditation in particular fosters feelings of connection and reduces emotional pain by cultivating compassion for yourself and others. This practice shifts focus away from the wounds of the past, redirecting energy toward healing and harmony. Accepting impermanence is a crucial step in the healing process. Pain and illness can feel overwhelming, but Buddhist teachings remind you that all things are temporary, including suffering. Embracing this truth reduces the fear and resistance that often accompany pain, allowing you to approach healing with patience and hope. Understanding impermanence also fosters gratitude for moments of relief, encouraging you to treasure each step of progress. Non-judgmental awareness is another key aspect of natural healing. Often the mind resists pain or discomfort, labeling it as bad or intolerable. This resistance amplifies suffering, creating a cycle of tension and distress. By observing your experience without judgment, you soften this resistance and allow healing to unfold naturally. This practice is not about ignoring pain, but about meeting it with acceptance and compassion, which transforms how you experience it. Healing also involves strengthening your sense of purpose. When life feels meaningful, the mind and body align toward well-being. Purpose provides motivation and energy, even in the face of challenges. Reflecting on what gives your life meaning, whether relationships, creativity, or spiritual growth, creates a sense of vitality that supports the healing process. Purpose shifts your focus from what is wrong to what is possible, fostering a sense of hope and determination. Buddhist teachings also emphasize the importance of mindful consumption, not just of food, but of everything you take in, including media, conversations, and environments. Surrounding yourself with nourishing influences supports both emotional and physical healing. Avoiding negativity and choosing uplifting, peaceful inputs creates a supportive atmosphere for recovery. This practice helps you maintain focus on healing rather than being distracted by external stressors. Community is another pillar of natural healing. Connecting with others who share your journey provides emotional support and inspiration. Sharing experiences, whether through conversation, meditation groups, or acts of kindness, fosters a sense of belonging and reduces feelings of isolation. Buddhist teachings highlight the importance of Sangha, or community, as a source of strength and encouragement on the path to healing. Healing naturally also involves cultivating trust in yourself, in the process, and in the body's innate ability to recover. Doubt and fear can hinder progress, creating unnecessary obstacles. Buddhist wisdom teaches the value of trust as an act of surrender, allowing you to let go of control and flow with life's rhythm. Trust creates space for healing to occur without the interference of worry or resistance. The act of slowing down is fundamental to natural healing. The rush of modern life often pushes you to ignore or suppress pain, delaying recovery. Slowing down allows you to tune into your body's needs, honor its limits, and engage in practices that promote restoration. This intentional pace fosters mindfulness and presence, creating a fertile ground for healing to take root. Buddhist teachings do not separate healing from living. They see it as an integral part of the journey. Healing is not about returning to a previous state, but about growing into a new one, shaped by the lessons of pain and the strength of resilience. By embracing these practices, you align with the natural flow of life, allowing healing to unfold with grace and wisdom. Through mindfulness, compassion, and balance, you discover that true healing is not just the absence of pain, but the presence of wholeness. Healing naturally reveals that wholeness is always within reach, provided we align our minds and actions with life's inherent balance. Yet, healing is not an end, but a means to truly live, a reminder that every moment holds the potential for joy, growth, and fulfillment. To waste a life filled with such opportunities by focusing on distractions or neglecting the present is to overlook the immense gift of existence itself. Buddhist teachings serve as a guide to reclaim this happiness, helping you nurture a life that is deeply meaningful, intentional, and free from unnecessary suffering. Life's richness begins with presence. Many people lose touch with the present moment, consumed by regrets of the past or anxieties about the future. This mental tug-of-war creates a barrier to experiencing happiness. Buddhist wisdom encourages cultivating mindfulness, the art of being fully present in whatever you do. Whether drinking a cup of tea or walking through your day, mindfulness anchors you in the now, where life's beauty unfolds. Through presence, you discover that happiness isn't something to chase, it's something to notice. Happiness is often overlooked because it becomes entangled with comparison. When you measure your life against others' accomplishments, possessions, or circumstances, joy is diminished. This habit fosters feelings of inadequacy, even when life is abundant. Buddhist teachings remind you that comparison is a distraction from appreciating your unique path. Focusing inward rather than outward fosters gratitude for your experiences, helping you cultivate a happiness that is rooted in authenticity. The pursuit of external validation frequently drains life of its joy. Seeking approval or recognition creates a dependency on others' opinions, leaving you vulnerable to disappointment. Buddhist teachings emphasize inner contentment, a state where happiness arises from living in alignment with your values rather than seeking external rewards. By prioritizing self-acceptance and authenticity, you reclaim the power to define your happiness on your terms. Clinging to fleeting pleasures also leads to dissatisfaction. The joy of acquiring a new possession or achieving a milestone often fades, leaving a void that prompts the next pursuit. This cycle of desire and discontentment creates restlessness. Buddhist wisdom offers the concept of non-attachment, which doesn't mean rejecting happiness, but appreciating it without grasping. When you enjoy life's pleasures without clinging, you free yourself from the fear of losing them, allowing happiness to flow naturally. Happiness flourishes when life aligns with purpose. A sense of purpose provides direction, energy, and fulfillment, preventing you from feeling adrift or aimless. Reflecting on what truly matters to you, whether nurturing relationships, contributing to your community, or pursuing creativity, creates a foundation for meaningful happiness. Purpose transforms daily actions into expressions of your deepest values, turning ordinary moments into sources of joy. Compassion is a vital source of happiness. Caring for others not only strengthens connections, but also fosters a sense of unity and purpose. Acts of kindness, whether small or profound, shift focus from personal struggles to shared humanity. Buddhist teachings highlight the joy found in generosity and service, reminding you that giving to others often nurtures your own happiness in return. Simplifying life enhances happiness by reducing unnecessary stress and distractions. The constant pursuit of more, whether material possessions, status or experiences, can clutter the mind and obscure what truly brings joy. Buddhist practices encourage simplicity, not as deprivation, but as a way to focus on what truly matters. By letting go of excess, you create space for clarity, contentment, and deeper appreciation of life's essentials. Forgiveness is another pathway to happiness. Holding on to resentment or anger weighs heavily on the mind, draining energy and joy. Buddhist wisdom teaches that forgiveness is not about condoning harm, but releasing yourself from the grip of past pain. Letting go of grudges frees emotional space, allowing happiness to take root in its place. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, enabling you to move forward without the burden of bitterness. Acceptance is a cornerstone of a happy life. Resistance to what is, whether life's imperfections, personal flaws, or uncontrollable events, creates unnecessary suffering. Buddhist teachings guide you toward embracing reality as it unfolds, fostering a sense of peace and resilience. Acceptance doesn't mean passivity. It means choosing to engage with life as it is, rather than wishing it were different. This mindset creates the freedom to find joy, even in challenging circumstances. Mindful relationships nurture happiness by fostering genuine connection and mutual respect. Too often, relationships suffer from neglect, miscommunication, or misplaced priorities. Buddhist teachings encourage deep listening, compassion, and presence in interactions with others. Prioritizing the quality of your relationships over superficial concerns strengthens bonds and creates a network of support, amplifying the joy of shared experiences. Cultivating gratitude shifts focus from what is lacking to what is present, transforming ordinary moments into sources of happiness. Gratitude creates a positive feedback loop, where recognizing life's blessings enhances your capacity to experience joy. This practice doesn't ignore challenges, but balances them with appreciation for the good. Regularly reflecting on what you're grateful for fosters a mindset of abundance, making happiness more accessible. Happiness requires balance between effort and rest, ambition and contentment, solitude and connection. Overextending yourself in one direction often leads to burnout or dissatisfaction. Buddhist teachings on the middle way encourage harmony in all aspects of life, allowing happiness to arise naturally. By honoring your needs and maintaining balance, you sustain the energy and clarity necessary to appreciate life's fullness. The practice of self-awareness deepens your understanding of what truly brings happiness. Often, people chase external markers of success or pleasure without questioning their relevance to personal fulfillment. Self-awareness invites you to examine your motivations, aligning your actions with your values. This intentionality ensures that your pursuits contribute to lasting happiness rather than fleeting satisfaction. Buddhist teachings remind you that happiness is not a destination, but a journey. It is found not in grand achievements, but in the small, mindful moments of everyday life. Whether savoring a meal, sharing laughter, or simply breathing deeply, happiness resides in presence and awareness. By cultivating these practices, you transform your daily experiences into opportunities for joy and gratitude, ensuring that life's precious gift is never wasted. Happiness, as the previous teaching reveals, is cultivated through presence, gratitude, and simplicity. However, the journey to fulfillment often requires solitude, a deliberate retreat from the noise of the world to rediscover the strength and wisdom within. Doing it alone is not about isolation or detachment from others, but about embracing independence, self-reliance, and the clarity that emerges when you face life with your own resilience. Buddhist teachings illuminate the profound growth and empowerment that come from walking your path with courage and determination. Solitude is a space for deep self-awareness. In a world that constantly demands your attention, stepping away allows you to hear your inner voice more clearly. The absence of external distractions creates room to examine your thoughts, emotions, and motivations. This practice fosters a deeper understanding of yourself, uncovering patterns that may no longer serve you and strengths you may have overlooked. Solitude becomes a mirror, reflecting the truth of who you are and where you wish to go. Independence nurtures resilience. When you learn to rely on yourself, you discover a wellspring of strength that no external force can take away. Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of self-reliance, reminding you that while support from others is valuable, true stability comes from within. Facing challenges alone teaches resourcefulness and adaptability, qualities that empower you to navigate life's uncertainties with confidence. Doing it alone also cultivates emotional freedom. When you release the need for constant validation or approval, you liberate yourself from the weight of others' expectations. Buddhist wisdom encourages detachment from external opinions, guiding you to find worth and contentment in your own actions and values. This independence fosters a sense of inner peace, as your happiness becomes rooted in authenticity rather than comparison or judgment. Solitude provides an opportunity to realign with your purpose. The busyness of daily life often pulls you away from what truly matters, scattering your energy across endless tasks and distractions. Stepping back creates space to reflect on your goals and values, ensuring your actions align with your deeper intentions. This clarity strengthens your resolve, allowing you to move forward with focus and determination. Facing challenges alone builds courage. When you stand in the face of difficulty without seeking immediate help, you confront your fears and doubts head-on. Buddhist teachings remind you that growth often arises from discomfort, and solitude provides the space to explore these moments fully. By navigating hardships on your own, you cultivate the confidence to handle future obstacles with grace and poise. Solitude fosters creativity and insight. When the mind is free from the noise of constant interaction, it finds room to explore new ideas and perspectives. Many of life's greatest solutions and inspirations arise in moments of quiet reflection. Buddhist practices like meditation enhance this process, encouraging you to sit with your thoughts until clarity emerges. This creative solitude transforms problems into opportunities and ideas into actionable plans. Doing it alone strengthens discipline. Without external accountability, you learn to motivate yourself, setting goals and following through with commitment. Buddhist teachings on mindful effort encourage you to approach tasks with intention and persistence, even when no one is watching. This self-discipline becomes a source of pride and empowerment, reinforcing your ability to achieve your aspirations independently. Solitude also deepens your appreciation for connection. Time spent alone reveals the value of meaningful relationships, helping you distinguish between shallow interactions and true bonds. Buddhist teachings on interconnectedness remind you that while solitude is essential for self-growth, It also enhances your ability to contribute to and appreciate the collective. The balance between solitude and connection enriches both aspects of your life. Through solitude, you confront the fear of being alone. Many people avoid solitude because it forces them to face uncomfortable truths or feelings. Buddhist wisdom encourages you to sit with these emotions rather than escape them, recognizing that discomfort often holds the key to transformation. By embracing solitude, you break free from the fear of loneliness, discovering that your own presence is enough. Self-compassion flourishes in solitude. Without the distractions of external judgments, you have the opportunity to treat yourself with kindness and understanding. Buddhist teachings on loving-kindness meditation guide you to extend this compassion inward, nurturing your spirit and healing old wounds. This practice builds a foundation of inner support that sustains you through life's challenges. Doing it alone reinforces mindfulness. Without the pull of external interactions, you can fully immerse yourself in the present moment, whether through meditation, mindful walking, or simply observing your surroundings. Solitude heightens your awareness of life's subtleties. This mindfulness enhances your ability to engage with the world authentically when you re-enter it, bringing a sense of calm and clarity to your interactions. Solitude teaches you to trust yourself. Without the constant input of others, you learn to rely on your intuition and judgment. Buddhist teachings emphasize that the answers you seek often lie within, and solitude provides the space to access this inner wisdom. Trusting yourself builds confidence and independence, empowering you to make decisions that align with your truth. Through solitude, you develop gratitude for simplicity. Stripped of distractions and excess, you begin to appreciate the beauty in life's small details: a sunrise, a moment of stillness, or the rhythm of your breath. Buddhist teachings on simplicity remind you that contentment is not found in abundance, but in presence. Solitude magnifies this truth, helping you cultivate joy in the everyday. Ultimately, doing it alone is not about isolation, but about integration. By embracing solitude, you strengthen your connection to yourself, your purpose, and the world around you. Buddhist teachings guide you to see solitude not as a retreat from life, but as a deep engagement with it. In this space, you find the clarity, strength, and peace to navigate any path, knowing that within you lies all that you need. Solitude reveals the strength within and clears the noise of external distractions, but life's true essence lies in how we choose to live each moment. The fleeting nature of existence offers endless opportunities to experience joy, connection, and growth. Yet, so much of this potential is wasted when we become consumed by trivial pursuits, distractions, or regrets. Buddhist teachings remind us that happiness is not a distant goal, but a present reality, accessible to anyone willing to embrace it with awareness and intention. Happiness begins with presence. Many people live in a haze, either dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, missing the beauty of the present moment. Buddhist teachings emphasize mindfulness as the key to awakening to life's joys. When you fully engage with what is happening right now, even simple moments become profound. Whether enjoying a meal, listening to a friend, or feeling the warmth of the sun, presence transforms the mundane into the meaningful. Distractions are the greatest thieves of happiness. Endless scrolling, unnecessary comparisons, and superficial pursuits dilute the richness of life. Buddhist wisdom teaches that focusing on what truly matters, your relationships, purpose, and inner growth, creates lasting fulfillment. Simplifying your life by eliminating unnecessary distractions brings clarity, and allows you to savor the joys that already exist. Clinging to perfection is another barrier to happiness. Many people chase an ideal version of life, believing happiness lies in achieving it. Buddhist teachings on acceptance remind us that life is imperfect, and that finding joy within its imperfections is liberating. Letting go of the need for things to be perfect frees you to appreciate what is, rather than lamenting what isn't. This shift in perspective opens the door to contentment and peace. Happiness flourishes when you align your actions with your values. Living inauthentically, whether to please others or conform to societal expectations, creates a sense of disconnection. Buddhist wisdom encourages living with integrity, where your thoughts, words, and actions reflect your true self. This alignment fosters a deep sense of satisfaction as you live in harmony with your beliefs and purpose. Gratitude is a transformative practice for cultivating happiness. Rather than focusing on what you lack, gratitude shifts your attention to what you already have. Buddhist teachings encourage regular reflection on the blessings in your life, no matter how small. This practice creates a mindset of abundance, where happiness becomes rooted in appreciation rather than acquisition. Gratitude also strengthens your resilience, helping you see the good even in difficult times. Letting go is essential to living a happy life. Holding on to grudges, regrets, or unmet expectations creates emotional baggage that weighs you down. Buddhist teachings emphasize the power of release, allowing you to move forward without being tethered to the past. Letting go is not about forgetting, but about choosing not to let past pain dictate your present happiness. This freedom creates space for joy and growth. Compassion enhances happiness by fostering connection and empathy. When you care for others, you transcend self-centered concerns and experience the joy of giving. Buddhist teachings highlight that compassion is not a one-way street. It nourishes both the giver and the receiver. Acts of kindness, no matter how small, create ripples of happiness that extend beyond yourself. This interconnectedness reminds you that true joy often lies in supporting and uplifting others. Living simply magnifies happiness. In a world that equates success with excess, Buddhist teachings offer a refreshing perspective. Less is often more. By decluttering your life, both physically and mentally, you create space for what truly matters. A simpler life reduces stress and allows you to focus on relationships, experiences, and personal growth. This clarity brings a sense of freedom and joy that material possessions cannot provide. Acceptance of impermanence deepens your appreciation for life. Everything you cherish, your loved ones, experiences, and even your own life, is temporary. Rather than inducing fear, this understanding fosters gratitude for the present moment. Buddhist wisdom teaches that embracing impermanence helps you treasure what you have while it lasts, enriching your experience of happiness. It also reduces the fear of loss, allowing you to live more fully. Self-awareness is a cornerstone of a happy life. Many people go through life on autopilot, unaware of their habits, thoughts, or behaviors that hinder happiness. Buddhist teachings encourage deep self-reflection, helping you identify patterns that no longer serve you. This awareness empowers you to make intentional choices that align with your values and desires, creating a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. Forgiveness is a profound act of liberation that clears the path to happiness. Holding on to resentment or anger creates a mental prison, preventing you from experiencing joy. Buddhist teachings remind you that forgiveness is not about excusing harm, but about freeing yourself from the grip of negativity. By letting go of grudges, you reclaim your emotional energy and create space for peace and happiness to flourish. Happiness is strengthened by balance. Overcommitting or neglecting self-care can lead to burnout, while excessive focus on relaxation can create stagnation. Buddhist teachings on the middle way emphasize moderation in all aspects of life. Finding balance between work and rest, ambition and contentment, and solitude and connection allows happiness to arise naturally. This equilibrium fosters a sustainable sense of well-being. Purpose transforms happiness from fleeting to enduring. Without a sense of purpose, life can feel aimless, even if it is filled with pleasures. Buddhist teachings encourage you to reflect on what gives your life meaning and to align your actions with that purpose. Whether it's contributing to your community, nurturing relationships, or pursuing creativity, purpose provides a foundation for happiness that withstands life's challenges. Buddhist wisdom teaches that happiness is not about avoiding pain, but about embracing life fully. Challenges and difficulties are inevitable, but they do not have to define your experience. By cultivating presence, gratitude, compassion, and purpose, you build a life where happiness is not contingent on external circumstances, but arises naturally from within. In this way, every moment becomes an opportunity to live joyfully and intentionally. Happiness flourishes when presence, gratitude, and purpose are embraced. Yet the mind can often feel like a trap, pulling you into cycles of doubt, fear, or regret that cloud your experience of joy. Breaking free from this mental web is essential to living fully. Buddhist teachings provide timeless insights and practices to help you escape these traps, guiding you toward clarity, inner peace, and freedom. The mind's first trap is overthinking. Endless cycles of analysis and self-criticism create a spiral of doubt and confusion. Buddhist teachings emphasize the value of mindfulness to quiet this storm. By anchoring yourself in the present, you interrupt the endless loop of what-ifs and should-haves. Focusing on the sensations of your breath or the details of your surroundings brings your attention back to the now, where solutions can emerge without force or judgment. Attachment is another common snare of the mind. Clinging to specific outcomes, relationships, or material possessions leads to frustration when reality doesn't align with expectations. Buddhist wisdom teaches the practice of non-attachment, not to disengage, but to interact with life without being bound by it. Letting go of rigid desires frees your mind from the tension of constant striving, creating space for acceptance and flow. The illusion of control is a mental trap that fosters anxiety and fear. Believing you can control every aspect of life leads to frustration when unpredictability strikes. Buddhist teachings highlight the importance of distinguishing what is within your control and what is not. By focusing on your actions, choices, and attitudes, you reclaim energy wasted on worrying about the uncontrollable. This practice cultivates calm and resilience, even in the face of uncertainty. Judgment, whether directed at yourself or others, builds walls within the mind. Harsh self-criticism erodes confidence, while judging others creates separation. Buddhist wisdom encourages cultivating compassion and curiosity instead of judgment. By approaching situations with openness and understanding, you soften the mental barriers that trap you in negativity. This shift fosters connection, both with yourself and the world around you. The mind's habit of clinging to the past is another powerful trap. Regret and guilt can weigh heavily, preventing you from moving forward. Buddhist teachings remind you that the past cannot be changed, but can be a source of wisdom. Reflection without attachment allows you to learn from past experiences without being defined by them. This practice frees your mind from the grip of old wounds, enabling you to focus on the opportunities of the present. Fear of the future often keeps the mind trapped in anxiety. Anticipating problems or imagining worst-case scenarios drains your energy and prevents you from fully living. Buddhist teachings encourage trust in the present moment and the practice of letting go of the need to predict or control the future. By staying rooted in the now, you shift your focus from fear to possibility, allowing peace to replace anxiety. The illusion of permanence is another mental snare. Clinging to the belief that things will always stay the same leads to disappointment when they inevitably change. Buddhist wisdom on impermanence reminds you that life is in constant motion, and resisting this truth creates suffering. Embracing impermanence allows you to appreciate each moment for what it is, rather than lamenting its transience. This perspective fosters a sense of freedom and gratitude. The mind often traps itself in a narrative of lack, believing that happiness lies in what is missing. This focus on scarcity blinds you to the abundance already present in your life. Buddhist teachings on gratitude redirect your attention to what you have, cultivating a mindset of sufficiency. Recognizing the blessings around you, no matter how small, breaks the cycle of dissatisfaction and replaces it with contentment. Comparison is a mental trap that undermines self-worth. Measuring your life against others creates feelings of inadequacy or envy, even when your own life is rich with blessings. Buddhist wisdom reminds you that each path is unique and incomparable. By focusing inward and celebrating your journey, you free yourself from the mental strain of comparison. This practice fosters self-acceptance and inner peace. The desire for constant stimulation traps the mind in restlessness. In a world filled with distractions, the ability to sit in stillness is often lost. Buddhist teachings on meditation and mindfulness offer a way to reclaim this stillness. By sitting with your thoughts, rather than running from them, you discover a deeper sense of calm and clarity. This practice strengthens your ability to navigate life's complexities without being overwhelmed. The mind's tendency to resist discomfort creates another trap. Avoiding pain or difficulty often leads to greater suffering in the long run. Buddhist teachings encourage meeting discomfort with acceptance and curiosity. By facing challenges directly, you uncover hidden strengths and resilience. This approach transforms obstacles into opportunities for growth, freeing you from the mental strain of avoidance. The trap of over-identification with thoughts and emotions is one of the most insidious. Believing that you are your thoughts or feelings creates a sense of entanglement and loss of control. Buddhist wisdom teaches that thoughts and emotions are temporary phenomena, like clouds passing through the sky. Observing them without attachment allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. This practice creates a sense of spaciousness and freedom within the mind. The habit of multitasking traps the mind in scattered attention. Constantly dividing your focus reduces productivity and creates mental fatigue. Buddhist teachings on single-tasking and mindful engagement remind you to approach each activity with full presence. Whether working, eating, or resting, immersing yourself fully in the moment enhances both the quality of your experience and your sense of fulfillment. Escaping the trap of your own mind requires not just awareness, but intentional practice. Each of these teachings, when applied consistently, builds a foundation of clarity, freedom, and inner peace. By embracing mindfulness on non-attachment and self-compassion, You dismantle the mental barriers that prevent you from fully living. In their place, you create a mind that is expansive, resilient, and aligned with the natural flow of life. This liberation is not a distant goal, but a present possibility, accessible to anyone willing to walk the path. Mastering the power of not reacting is more than an emotional skill. It's a profound way to reclaim your peace and freedom. Through Buddhist wisdom, you've explored how detachment, mindfulness, compassion, gratitude, and self-awareness can transform your relationship with emotions. Each principle, whether it's recognizing impermanence, pausing before reacting, or reframing challenges, offers a path toward living with clarity and intention. By shifting from impulsive reactions to thoughtful responses, you gain control not just over emotions, but over how you engage with life itself. Your journey